Let's go! My bad. Good day, everyone. How y'all doing today? I see y'all added some new stuff to the goddamn scenario. That's what's up. How we doing? We right back at it like we didn't go nowhere. That's right. We right back at it. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Let's keep on building. Let's keep on grinding. What's up, Ascended Ray? What's up, baby girl? Now there's a dialogue. What it do? What is this? I heard. Let me see. No, it's at the other side. No. Where the hell are y'all? I thought I heard somebody pop in the chat. Let me see. Let me drop the link. Yeah. Let's go. What's good? Yeah, we right back at it. Let me find some things that I wanted to bring up. What you mean, Nazadal? I think that was a good intro. That was absolutely awesome. That intro was pretty effing dope. Shout out to Drip Nation. What's up, Bumpkin? What is your thoughts so far? I know you have a little bit about what's going on with this whole goddamn Trump gold card. You probably seem like, from what I gathered, what you said earlier, that this gold card is a good thing.
I would say it's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
I don't, like I said, like ideally, I would want no immigration coming into the United States.
Really?
Ideally. But that being said, $5 million, that's a huge gate that you're putting in the way of immigration. So it's ideally in the right direction. Besides that, I mean, potentially a way to pay off the national debt, which would be very good for the United States, by the way.
I think if we get that many.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at it like this, right? And here's the downside to it, which would be the most pain thing about it, right? How this is most likely going to work is you're going to have certain companies that want to bring, international companies that want to bring in, CEOs, COOs, whatever, into the United States because Trump is going to lower that tax for mega corporations, right? So he's going to bring them in. Oh, my alarm is going off. He's going to bring them, what am I saying? They're going to bring them in, right? Pay the $5 million for the gold card. And then, the more companies that do that, or the more this company does that, $5 million stack up really fast. And there's a lot of employees. These companies have a lot of employees.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I thought it was me.
I think money-wise, thank you, Bomb. I think money-wise, it sounds good in theory. A lot of other countries, they do it to us. If we want to go and be a citizen somewhere else, they ask for at least $500,000 investment in their country. A lot of places ask for $1 million in your savings, but they're not asking us to pay directly to the country. So it is very interesting. But now, if we was to do that, so now we are not looking for the best and brightest, we're just looking for the richest. And you say you don't have no problem with that at all. So that's all just people that are just taking advantage of their money and not actually caring about the country.
Right. Well, they also said these people would be vetted. I take that with a grain of salt because when we're talking about money, does it really matter how vetted someone's in if they're dropping $5 million to come into a country?
The only vetted they talking about, they just gonna make sure you ain't trying to blow some shit up.
Right. Exactly. Blow some shit up, do some dumb stuff. That's it. I mean, like I said, man, I have to look at everything through like a realistic lens. Do I like this personally? No.
Okay. You don't like it. I'm surprised.
I don't because it's still immigration. It's still immigration. It's like, you're gonna have some rich Saudi that's gonna come over. We're gonna have some rich Indian that's gonna come over,
Mm-hmm.
or something, or a
Right.
rich European that's gonna come over,
Correct.
and replace the natural progression of Americans in an American backed company. So
Mm.
either way, it's gonna be bad. But at least this way, somehow the American people are going to get something out of it.
Well, not the American people, the American government.
The American government, yes.
Well, we
It's,
are the government, but the
Okay.
government of the people. But you mean Trump? Trump gonna get the money. You know,
Mm.
Trump is selling it, and the money goes to him because that's what he did last time when he was president.
source.
What you
Mm.
mean, source? He charged people to get out of prison
Mm.
or to give them a what is it called that he just gave all them people who was in jail?
What,
Or
January 6th?
A
yeah,
pardon. A
a
pardon.
pardon. He charged $1 million for pardons. You need a source for that, or you didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that. No, I need a source for that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he charged the January 6th people $1 million for a pardon.
I ain't said the January 6th people. I said the last time he was president. January 6th happened after he was president, right?
I think this is a
Yeah.
very good question. And I want to know because what's your thoughts on this bumpkin and bomb cherry?
Can you
Everybody.
hear me first?
Yes, we can hear you, eat it, man. Oh, Krusty, you wanna give a mic check?
Can you hear me?
Okay, everybody, mic sounds good. I think this is a good question. How long would those people who hold the gold card be under the company's thumb? Like they are going to, man. Hey, I got you this $5 million gold card. You better go ahead and lick these toes. What is your thoughts on that part of the gold card? Do you think it's going to
Absolutely.
be used as a tool? All right, so Edelman wanted to start it off. Go ahead, Edelman. Your thought on that question?
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody pays for you, they're gonna kind of uh, they're gonna kind of say, "Hey, you got." It's kind of like the college repayment military plan. You owe me 8 years. You owe me 10 years
Mm.
if I pay for it. So I look at this whole situation from two angles, right? First of all, I think from a business aspect. I think charging people to be able to have citizenships because it works together. If you look at, hey, now I put a tariff on this country, they cannot do business. It's very expensive for them to do business outside the country. They can pay a one-time big fee and start doing business inside the country to be able to start sourcing different things out. So I can see how those two things come together. So business, I'm like, yes. Money, I say yes, but I still have a military background. So
Mm.
now we start asking, do we want people that I say foreign enemies have the ability to buy themselves into the country to be able to position themselves in places that we don't want to? When you
Mm.
start looking at like Putin as an example, a Russian power who they say he might be the richest man in the world. What can he pay for to put people in the positions that he wants? I'm in a hard place. It's like a rock in the hard place. I understand it from a business aspect, but from a military aspect, I'm like, hell no, this ain't no good idea.
Yeah, it's a
Mm.
national security disaster. I mean, if you're a national security, this when this was announced, you were probably pulling your hair out. I'll be honest
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
But but from a business standpoint, it makes sense. But from like a national threat and also immigration,
It, it,
it
it
sucks.
and then bunker, you got to ask yourself, like, is it just money, or are we going to exclude the terrorist list? Are we going to exclude like it's so many questions of think about how much money this last administration gave out. That means that people in the Middle East can they come over here and pay a gold card for $5 million? I just think it's a disaster. I go on record think that I think this is a bad decision that Trump did. Like I think that it's not going to work out for the great good. It sounds
Mm.
good, but money can cause you way more problems. The only way to destroy America is to be able to have terrorists inside of America. We ain't worried
Ooh.
about nobody coming over a sea or up to Mexico or through Canada. But if you can get enough people positioned correctly and it only cost them a $5 million, I think that this one that he gotta hold this L and go a different direction.
Mm.
Yeah, he needs to
Okay.
go back to yeah, he needs to go back to his original standpoint, right? First, what was it? First day. I was in DC when he started dropping these. Started
Really?
dropping. Yeah, I was out there counter protesting a bunch of these people, but that's not the point. Um, I do a lot of extracurricular activities, I guess. But that's not the point. Yeah, like the ending of birthright citizenship, stuff like that. His hard line on immigration. Like this just seems like such a another cop out, man.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised. And you are a Trump supporter or Trump voter at one
Yeah,
point. Okay, so
I
I'm what I'm really happy to see is that like when we have an honest conversation, because there's no way that no matter who you support as a candidate that you're gonna like everything that he does. So I just appreciate the honesty that both of y'all are displaying and just being truthful about what you think this one particular topic is. Oh, crusty Uncle Rico, what's your thoughts so far? And also let me shout out to Bob Sharon. I like the Nino Brown look. I ain't like your light skin ass anyway. That's my Nino
Well,
Brown.
I just wanted to come in and say, first of all, I echo all of Either Man Williams' points of view because,
Wow.
I mean, no, because to be honest with you, first of all, the whole idea makes America look like a whore. Anybody that's willing to
Whoa.
pay can pay to get in. And that's really not a good look. And that's not even the way that countries generally want to open up immigration. Yes, other countries do allow you to get citizenship based on foreign investment, but like you said, you don't pay it directly to the government. You just you invest in the country, whether it's a company, buying real estate, whatever the case may be. And the purpose of citizenship, primarily to people not born, is to basically increase your tax base. The more people that come in, that's what governments do. They tax the citizens. So just allowing people to buy in, it's not even a good business sense. So you could tell Trump didn't think it through, which is indicative of the actions that he makes. I just don't think you can, when citizenship was expanded in the US, it was generally they were trying to get, if you think about it, like after World War II, you wanted the best and the brightest to come in. You wanted smart people to come and help even when the founding, when they were, what was it, the statue in New York, they were trying to populate the country. And I understand, Bumpkin, you're saying that you don't want any immigration. However, we need immigration to keep the country going. America, like a lot of other countries, especially Western countries, we're not reproducing at the same rates that we used to. And as population, people are having from 10 and 15 kids down to 1 and 2 because it's becoming more expensive. We require immigration. I do not think farm jobs, wages were decreased. They just simply never increased. So low skilled work, companies want low skilled workers to pay cheaper. Most Americans are not going back to those jobs anyway. We're not going back to being a farming country. So typically we need people with a farm background to come and work in our food industries to continue to support the country. So I don't care how you look at it, you can't keep getting high skilled workers and not enough low skilled workers. It just doesn't work.
Can I respond to that?
Exactly. Oh,
1 second, Bomb Jerry. So you say that we need more immigrants, right? I would say that's putting a band-aid on the problem. The problem is birth rates, right? So why don't we make it cheaper for people to have kids or incentivize them having kids? Like saying, for instance, a blanket federal policy could be married couples, as soon as they are married, can get a loan, interest-free loan from the state, right, from the federal government, to buy or purchase a house, and that can be relegated to wherever they live in the nation, right? And then from upwards of how many kids that new married couples have, that loan is paid off in full. Up to 4 kids, 4 is above the replacement level. That's a blanket policy, and that policy has been shown to work in the past.
Okay.
It just simply that, or even making everyday living easier on Americans. As soon as you would make it easier financially, people would be popping out kids left and right.
Do you have children?
I don't.
Okay.
Not that I know of, but that's not the point. I don't.
But you do know having children is far more than just the finances. And the only reason why I'm saying is I think people the decline in the birth rate started before it was not just the cost. I think as the more we go into the future, people are not desiring to have those large families because it is more than just the cost is definitely a factor in your decision of if you want 10 or 15 kids. But even rich, even wealthy people are not having large families anymore. So it's got to be something other than just the finances,
Well, you went to large families. He just said families. See, that's a
right?
big difference, right? So you
Yeah.
can have 2 and 3 kids. A lot of people don't want to have 2 and 3 kids anymore. So the reason we had all them kids back then because we didn't have much to do. We didn't have the internet and all that kind of stuff, and they didn't have birth control. Okay,
Yep.
so let's we keep it 100. And but in this country, it's we double talk, right? Because
Mhm.
yes, we don't want welfare. We don't want the federal government, and yet your solution is for the federal government to give somebody something.
Great point. Great point. Thank you. Great point.
That's the only
So to
apparatus
create a
that would be
welfare
able to.
state,
It's not a welfare state. No, 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 no.
you giving them if you're giving
A,
them money.
a welfare state demands that they stay in poverty and they stay where they're at. What I was very specific with what I said, right? Married couple,
Uh huh.
right? Married couple that gets a interest-free loan from the federal government, right? I think we all know
That's
what
welfare,
interest-free means. That is not welfare, right?
most
That is
definitely.
that is that is helping out a family, right? That is helping out two newly married people,
Mhm.
and then they are going to be able to build their wealth off of that.
Like food stamps. That's welfare, baby. You don't know what
Food
welfare is?
stamps is
Yes.
forever, a one-time
No,
loan
Food
food
is
stamps is
stamps
not
is
not.
you
forever.
forever. Who
It's
told
not
you that?
Well,
forever.
it's for a long period of time.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
And
No,
you
it's
go
not.
every 6 months to make sure you still qualify for food stamps.
And
That's,
so can I ask him a quick question? So you're suggesting that a couple would have to take out a loan because you said an interest-free loan to start a fucking family?
right.
To buy a house,
No, no, no.
to be able to
But
to
that's
be able to produce a healthy
most
family.
people. But most people are not. That's why people just choose. If I don't know who would take out a loan to have to start a family.
Used to have a family.
So
Yeah.
I,
but Bonke, hello. The problem with your way of thinking, right? Is if just say if I was to go with how you think, that means we should get reparations. Just
oh,
based off if we gonna go down the road that we just trying to help people out, give them a head start. You need to go ahead and write the ADOS. You need FBA, whatever you want to call it. Write them a check because if we gonna help anybody, we should help the people who built this country, right? So that's the whole point. Is like it's a very dangerous slope that you will help these random families who haven't really did anything or we can't even tie them to America and not help the group that we can tie that built America. So I'm just saying it's a slippery slope. So you for reparations for the Adolf Bunkin?
I really shouldn't answer that question.
That's the point.
I
Yes.
really shouldn't answer that question. Well,
No, but
because the idea of reparations, right? The idea of which idea of reparations are we going off of, right?
we a check. We
Where the
hold
federal
on.
government pays.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's right.
Just like your whole idea of helping a brother out or helping a couple out. Why can't you help a black person out who built the country?
Sure, why not?
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to bring you over to my side because I done heard your stance on reparations before. I was
He has a
over your
stance
side.
on
I
reparations.
he had to stand on it. Hey, shout out to
Sure,
Either Man getting Bumpkin to stand
sure,
on his
why not?
logic. Hey,
Hey,
that's what's
kids.
up. He made him stand on his logic. Hey, he
I
stood on his
don't.
line. He said, "Hey, if I'm willing to help out that couple, I guess I gotta stand
Yeah.
on that too."
So, but
Sure,
bunking
whatever.
the biggest thing is bunking. We always trying to help somebody else out. How about we help Americans out? That
Mm.
That's
that
what
that,
I'm.
that
That's what I'm saying.
But
Mhm.
but that's the point is we gotta take care of the original Americans, the ones who's 10,
Right.
15 generations back before we hand anybody else out. The biggest thing that people don't understand about immigrants, most immigrants are chosen to come over here. We
Right.
don't get they rejects.
but
Like when you start, go ahead.
my question is this: why would we? not want immigrants to come who will freely create a family just for an opportunity to be in America. We wouldn't have to give them a loan. We wouldn't have to give them anything, and they would do the work. I don't
Well,
understand how
because
saying no, we're going to
you're
give
well,
you
replacing
because
the host
One at a time,
population.
y'all.
but let me just
Let
finish.
them finish.
It's not
Bomb the
me,
bumpkin.
right? And I'll just think like we're saying, oh, we're not going to let them in who will freely come in to get in America to do the work that we Americans are not lining up to do, to try to induce Americans through a loan to reproduce at a rate that they no longer want to rate. I don't see where that makes any sense.
well, so you do know that when people come over here, they get interest-free loans if they want to
Facts.
start businesses already. And so to answer your question, but those of us who are black in this country, we don't have that opportunity. In fact, they make sure we don't get those opportunities. Um, yeah, they allow them to come in our community and sell us things, so we don't get the benefit. So I understand when he's saying, "Hey, we need America first, and we do need to start farming again. Why can't we do that again?"
Well, yeah. Well. First of all, let me tell you why I'm against what I think Uncle Rico is saying. Right.
Okay.
The reason I'm against what he's saying is because they don't just come over here and get it out the mud. It's a lie. Somebody, it's crazy that we go to these countries and they make $1,000 of money. We think that they can afford a 2,500 plane ticket for 10 people. Like, it's literally like when you start doing the research on this. See, y'all don't understand. I've been doing this FBA research and somebody want to talk about it, right? They're getting funded their transportation to get over here. They're getting funded their housing once they get over here. They're getting funded their food stamps when they get over here. So they're not starting from the bottom like Black Americans or the foundational Black Americans. So stop it. We gotta stop saying that they coming over here for free. No, they're personally selected. And then if you ask a white person, if Bunkin is being truthful, if you ask a white person, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to deal with the immigrant black, or you prefer to deal with the foundational Black America? What they gonna say is they prefer the
FBA all
immigrant.
day.
Yeah, the
No,
immigrant.
FBA all day.
No,
So
they.
most, and I get bunking is the exception, but most of them, look at these Ivy League schools. These Ivy League schools are I'm picking the immigrant over the foundational Black person. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't want to start having a Black conversation because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these Black conversations, and they not starting from the ground. We gotta stop. The only
You just,
people who start from the ground is FBA. The foundational Black people, the only one who got to get it out the mud. But everybody else get handouts, and they
so
come
you
and
were
be able to attack themselves to us. So stop it. No, I
like,
don't want the immigrants to get nothing. Y'all get your own program. Why y'all get to get
so,
our program? Because y'all ancestors ain't go through what we went through.
so
Okay, but
you say you the only one who know this, and you just repeated what I said. Did I say it differently?
You talking
I
about me?
Yeah, you agree with me 100%. That's exactly what I
No,
said.
we on the same page. Listen, I
Oh,
was
okay. I just want to
responding.
make sure.
No, we
I
responding to
know.
Rico because Rico asked the
right,
question, and we
Yeah, you're
both
right.
responded to Rico. Go ahead.
okay,
Okay.
but this is what I'm saying, and I'm not disagreeing with either one of you guys. But what I'm sitting there saying, writ in large, probably 80-90% of our agricultural jobs are performed by immigrants. Would you guys disagree with that? In the fields, all throughout the South, all throughout California, you can go. Those fields are not populated by white, blacks, or maybe a few Asians. They
Okay,
are
yeah.
very
Let's say we
heavily
agree.
immigrant.
We
That,
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
We
and
because
agree.
it'll be
that's
hard to
the
prove. I think
population.
I really believe it's machines,
But
but
yeah, but
Machines everything they can, but what it can't do, it's immigrants. And
no,
the
but let's just agree with him. Just say
right,
our current system is immigrants. What is your
yeah,
point that you're trying to make?
right. That's the population I'm speaking of, because those are people who are really coming here to fulfill a need that we have because we ain't doing it because we don't want to, and I don't suggest.
Hello,
I don't
but
believe.
Rico, that's a really bad way of thinking. Because if I go back 100 years, I say the majority of cotton was picked by Black people. You know, when Black people couldn't pick cotton no more, they innovated the system so we still get cotton. So we need to stop that. Like
That
we
was
Yeah,
the
gotta
ex-
stop saying that
That's
we.
not
Hold on,
exactly,
no,
Jimmy. Yeah.
today is my
that's the
day to
exact
cook. Hold on.
that dude, that was the exact slavery argument back in the day. I'm not even joking. Listen, what do you think that these immigrants are paid when they come here? It's not that people won't work those jobs, it's that they won't work those jobs for $7.25 an hour. That's what they won't work. They
I got
want a proper wage for those jobs.
no, but listen. We keep giving excuses for why we treat people certain types of way, kind of like what Bunkin is saying. Listen, if we don't have immigrants to pick pairs anymore, we need to come up with a system. We need to come up with technology because we did it with cotton. Guess what? We had this argument before. We need a system that is efficient enough to be able to get these pears, get these oranges, get these fruits to our table, which I think that in reality, most of these systems in the South already exist. And what we need to do is we need to find a more efficient way and pay a machine instead of paying an immigrant. So you can't justify slavery, a slavery class just because you think that that's what it is today. We got to move towards the future.
Okay, E, this is what I will say. If in fact we had today the technology for a machine to do this, we would be doing it. They do not employ those immigrants out of the goodness of their heart. They do so because currently we don't have the technology to do this work without destroying the goods, meaning the fruits, the vegetables, whatever the case may be. We have modernized and mechanized everything in agriculture that we can at the moment. Now, if it changes down the road, we no longer have a need for them, God bless. As to the point that Americans moved out of farming, immigrants did not replace anybody in the fields. Americans at a much earlier time in history started migrating more into the cities and away from farm life. If you study the trends, people wanted better jobs, better pay, less arduous physical work. So it's
But this is,
They
but
wanted more money.
Uncle
I'm
Rico, hold on. The
Go
point
ahead.
that you're arguing the same point that the slave owners argued. They literally said, I wish we had tapes. Because I bet they said, hey, we don't have the technology to pick cotton. There's no way we'll be able to be self-sufficient to pick cotton. This is why we still need slaves. And they push this narrative. Hold on, no, brother. They push this narrative for hundreds of years. And then as soon as, immediately, once we decide that we wasn't going to have a slave class, cotton, did we think the shirt stopped getting made, Bunkin? Nope. Shirt
Nope.
still got made. Cotton still got picked. So we got to get out of this mindset. Just because it's convenient, we should mistreat people. This is February. I told you I'm on my blackity black. It's
Well,
February. This Black
this
History
is this
Month. What are
is
y'all problems? Come on, man.
it's a ridiculous statement. It's as simple as this, right? Stop letting mega corporations literally bring in workers so they can pay them dirt cheap. That's end of discussion. End of discussion. And then those jobs will be filled by Americans, but not for $7.25 an hour. It will be a proper wage, right? And most likely be unionized because that's how Americans operate. But that's as simple as that. That's simple as that. Any other argument against that is you are just pulling the rope, pulling the barge for mega corporations, because that's who.
But Bumpkin, I will tell, and this will be the last thing I'll say about it. This concept that you believe that those jobs will be filled by Americans, we've watched hundreds of thousands of jobs get shipped fucking overseas. We'll be getting our fruits and our agriculture from Mexico. We will not be back in those fields. All this romantic notion of people going back doing things they did in the past again is just foolish. All of our
But we will be
have
operating
been
the machinery.
Let me
That's
finish.
the point.
Let me finish. I can't interrupt. All of our manufacturing jobs got shipped overseas for cheaper fucking labor.
Okay.
So what's your argument there?
All right.
Stop them from doing it.
Think about your answer. Alexander Brandon, Bumpkin, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. I was mad when he was screwed out of the Democratic nomination. A lot of people were. Alexander Brandon with the 5. Bumpkin, Bernie Sanders will have helped all Americans.
Hold up.
And also, I want to introduce a little podcast into the stream. Brownsville, New York is back. Alex is here. So, do y'all want to jump podcast? You want to jump in now, or are you good for the meantime?
I'm about to come on camera, so you can let somebody else go first.
Okay. I know Bumpkin and Either Man wanted to rebuttal Old Krusty. Y'all want to rebuttal now? Y'all want to let Brownsville go?
I'm just
Wow.
gonna just one
Go ahead.
second. I'll just
Oh,
1 second. So you stop the corporations from being able to do that, and the only way to formally do that is sadly through the federal government. But that's not the point. You stop them from shipping jobs overseas, right? You make them pay Americans a proper wage, right?
mhm.
And if they make, 22 trillion instead of 50 trillion, oh god, oh geez, the entire country's going to burn down because of that. Go
I
ahead.
agree with Bumpkin. I kind of and I understand what you're saying, Uncle Rico. I do understand what you're saying. Also, that's what they taught us, right? These corporations don't want to pay us, and so they want cheap labor, and so they have convinced Americans that it's just better to allow them to pay cheap labor. But what the truth is, they need to pay a living wage. There was lots of Africans, or should I say, black people who had farms, and we don't get the support. So there are people who, had their families who still was farming and things. There's still white people farm, but most of our fruits and vegetables do come from other places already.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like we have ridiculous trade routes. Like if you want a pack of pears, the pears are going to come from Mexico. The packaging is going to come from Europe, and then they ship it back to the U.S. It's
Right.
it's insanity. But that's not that's
No, you're
that's
right.
besides the point.
I got somebody that I want to bring up as well. Uncle Rico, look, he's ready to rebuttal.
No,
Brownsville, New
no.
York, you want?
Actually, I was actually going to say I agree with you guys. I don't even think we widely disagree. We're just pointing out all the different assets. I absolutely agree with you, Bomb. I absolutely agree with you, Bumpkin. But the fact of the matter is, I'm just trying to address the world that we know we live in, and where they ship jobs out, and they want cheaper labor. I hate it too, but it's our reality.
And
Okay,
fight.
Brownsville, you want to jump in by any chance?
For now.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was able to get their voice in real quick. Let me also bring in somebody. Welcome to the show. It's my first time see you. Double R, Realize TV. Good day, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everyone with that?
Everything's well. What you like to add to the show?
Okay, so look, I have one and only one explanation in a way that we can change all of this.
Okay.
My great great grandmother, she passed away at 90. As a child, every time I go to my grandmother's house, I remember her always in the garden, always planting things, always doing things like that. Um, Even her daughter, my great grandmother, every time, and she lived in an apartment, but she still grew, her little, jalapenos and stuff like that, you know. So this is one explanation. One way we can deal with this is we grow our own food. There's no way in the world there should not be a garden in every front yard and backyard, because if we did that alone, we could take care of all of it. And that's all I
Okay.
want to do.
Well,
Also, your microphone sounds a little muffled or echoey. Maybe you're in the closet or a bathroom, but it sounds echoey or hollow. So if you have a different kind of
Is it
microphone,
better?
that helpful if you can. But Bonche wanted to talk about, I
yeah.
believe, what you just said. And whoever else want to jump in, that's just saying, just keep it open and just have a conversation. Go ahead, Bon.
So I just want him to know that I'm not disagree with him, but he can have a garden in his backyard or front yard or even in his house today, right? There's different type of gardens, but a garden and a farm are not the same thing. Okay, they are totally different, babe. And so I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, great point. Bumpkin, like you want to talk in on a point or whichever, do your thing.
Yeah. So fun fact. America produces a lot of food. So much food. So much food that we give what 70% of it away to other countries. We don't give it away, we sell it, right? But we feed a good percent of the world. Just in grain. That's just in grain. That's not other food as well. It's just I really hate, and thank you Rico for clearing that up, but it's legitimately a mega corporations thing. That's all this. That's all immigration is. I mean, Bernie Sanders did say it, right? Right. He was quoted saying it on live TV, right? Saying open borders is um, a Koch brothers conspiracy, right? And then he went back on that later. That's why I don't support Bernie Sanders anymore, because he cucked to the party, sadly. But he was even aware of this. He was even aware of this. The idea of mass immigration, it is both economically detrimental to American citizens, actual Americans, and it is culturally detrimental because you are replacing your core populace that have been here for 300 years with a completely different people from everywhere in America, right? That culturally does not work. You will have huge culture clashes. Don't you see this with like MS-13 and stuff like that in don't you see this? Don't we see this in real time happening? In like no?
No,
Let me
and
I can pull the
Hollow
video right
Country
now.
is a melting pot, so that's always been going on. But you did mention that we
Mm,
grow a lot of food, and you mentioned grains, right? But we eat more than foods that's created with grains. Okay, so yes, we when we get our fruits and vegetables, and they mainly they're imported in. We export lots of grains and different things. So yes,
relatively speaking, we have not been a melting pot for the majority of our
we've been
conception.
a melting pot forever.
If you a melting pot is not indication of like two races of people.
A melting pot is many races of people.
Many,
Yes,
but
and we've had many races of people.
primarily black and white,
No, you see, you say your family was Scottish, right?
Anglo
You
and
think
Scottish,
so? Huh? Did you say from
Anglo
Scots?
and Scottish.
Okay, so back then there was white and Scots and Irish and like it was a lot of people from all over the world here in the U.S. And then of course there were the black and brown people from all over as well. So I don't know where you thought it was just two. So
Primarily, though, okay,
no,
okay, it was primarily for the large conception. We're not counting after the 1950 Immigration Act because obviously after
I'm
that
talking
was
about way
race.
before that. Day, I'm talking about way before we became the United States when we were colonies.
When we were colonies, yeah. Do you think that? What do you think the big difference between Scot and Anglo cultures are?
But they have a lot of difference in their culture.
Not that much.
Oh my God.
Besides one is a little bit more tribal and they wear kilts.
Okay, that's different. That's culturally different. Everything about them is different than the other. Only you can say that they're not different because you're looking at it from a skin color point of view. But if you look at it from their actual cultures, and you'll realize that they're completely different.
And
They realize they're completely different.
All right, I got a question
I
about this
want
thing.
to
So, all right,
I was going to ask you a question though, Bumpkin, when you
okay.
said about, and I agreed that America does produce most staple food for the world. But when it comes to meats, most countries produce their own meats.
Mm.
Cattle, chicken, because you can't readily import. We know that. We can't readily import live cattle from country to country to country. That's not happening. Yes, America actually imports a lot of beef from
You
other
know
countries
what's
as well.
you know
And
what's
we
crazy
don't
about
have the
that?
largest land mass of most countries.
You know what's crazy about that though?
Mhm.
We export as well.
Yes,
All
we
of
do.
yeah.
Everybody
So we export our locally grown meat and we import
does.
other
People's meat.
countries, other people's meat, right?
Yeah.
Which
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I get
yeah,
what
doesn't
you're
make
saying.
any sense, right?
It
Because
makes a
you
lot of sense.
no, but you would want the freshest meat. That's the thing, right? If
Yeah, but we
there
may not have certain
Agreed.
animals in this
Agreed.
to this country, right?
Yep. Correct.
no, I'm not even talking about just like on an animal basis. Of course, there are certain meats that we don't locally raise and slaughter in America, but I'm talking about beef. Like we do that with beef.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we do that
Okay,
with beef
that's
and
fair.
numbers.
So my question would be this. So do we actually believe that this new idea of a gold card worth $5 million, do we actually believe it will boost the economy and help create jobs, or is it just a VIP section for the wealthy?
It's a VIP section for the wealthy.
Thank
Agreed.
you. Thank you. Can I speak on that real quick?
Sure, your
Because
microphone sounds better.
check this out. Just is it better?
Yes.
Okay. So check this out, y'all. When they bring us this type of stuff, it's
Mm.
not for us. For the 99%. It's not for us. It's for that 1% of those people who can afford that type of stuff. Because ain't none of us. Come on, you name me a million people that can afford that car. You can't. Now, tell me how much are those people getting paid to build that car, to build the computers in that car, the people that's in the what you would call it warehouses who are putting these things together, the tail lights, the exhaust and all that. Are they really getting paid that much to really? Because think
They
about this,
used
y'all.
to.
We know it don't take that much to create something. You know what I'm saying? As far as price, but and that goes back to what brother was saying about the paying the people right, treating people right, because people are not getting paid exactly. You make one car. You gonna tell me one car is worth $5 million when the person who created that car, all those people, they got paid less than $1,000 to put that car together.
No. Okay, so
You feel me?
I
And
agree
I'll
with
leave that there.
I agree with what Bumpkin was saying earlier. The corporations control our country, right? Because there used to be a time when we were making cars here in the U.S. And that was in Detroit. That was a large area. Here in Delaware was a large area, and the men and women who worked at these corporations made good money. But then the corporations wanted to import, export our country. Say, hey, you got to pay taxes, but you don't have to pay much taxes if you start your business and if your business is stored somewhere else. So they move these corporations, although they're American companies, in other countries just to pay less tax in this country.
And cheaper labor.
Yes, and cheaper labor too.
It's all a money and profit game, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was let's say if I owned Adidas, right? If I owned Adidas and I was crunching the numbers and I said, wait, hold on a second. So you're telling me I can ship my manufacturing over to China and pay people 1 cent equivalent in US dollars to make these shoes, but I have to pay American workers $20 to $25 an hour to make these shoes. What do you think they're gonna choose? Well, like honestly, what do you think they're gonna choose?
What they chose.
What they chose, exactly. So this is why, and I'm seeing people in the comments call me like a socialist and all that. I'm not necessarily a socialist, okay? What I am saying is we have historically lived in a mixed economy, right? We need a lot more state oversight when it comes to some of these mega corporations. We also need to outlaw straight up bribery on politicians, which is legal in the United States for mega corporations to do. They're called super PACs. These are things that we need to take steps towards.
Can I?
Go
The main reason why I said that Bernie Sanders should have been, the president in 2016 is because he was all about getting bribery out of politics, and he was for raising the minimum wage to a living wage. He even said that this year, and he was against a man who, let's face it, is going to be for the billionaire class. When he said that, you know, Americans deserve a fair living wage, he meant it. And I'm starting to believe this. Bumpkin, I believe that the billionaires were the ones that helped Bernie Sanders get screwed, because they do not want money to leave out of politics. Bernie Sanders wanted money out of politics. And the thing of it is that I saw Bernie Sanders talk about that last night. He went to Iowa and said that the GOP is giving a tax break to the billionaires, which means we're going to be in a whole bunch of debt.
That's why we
And
don't
and
have
the
Trump. Trump
Can I
did that last time. But more importantly, Trump is he's about bribery, right? He wants to make money. He's making a lot of money while he's in. And so I agree with you, Alexandra, what you're saying.
Can I say something real quick though? There's a sense in which class is a stronger force than race or tribalism. So there's a convergence in interest on people who have a certain amount of money. As you climb the ladder, your interests tend to converge with wealthy people. So Trump opening this doorway for people to pay $5 million to have a fast track to having a green card, it's going to benefit America directly by reducing the deficit. There's something like 30-something trillion dollars debt that the country owes. So if he can sell 56, okay, that's significant. So 56 trillion. So if he, for each million of these he sells, I believe that's what, 5 trillion, if I have my math correctly. So if he can sell 10 or 20 million of these gold cards, that could reduce the debt significantly. But not only that, rich people in other countries can move to the U.S., bring their family here, and bring their products to American markets and benefit, financially in that regard. So I think this is a win-win situation. The only question I have is, what will the addition of these rich immigrants do to Americans who are competing in the same market for jobs or for things like that? Will this be a force of competition for the people who are already here?
Can I ask you one question though? When you talked about
before you change the question, do anybody want to answer his question first? And I got somebody in the back. Can you put a peace sign up so I know you're a real person?
I was just going to speak to his question about the deficit reduction.
Right.
That only works if we pay down the debt. Usually when America brings in more money, they spend. So I don't think it's going to do anything for the deficit. They'll spend it, but I don't think they're going to pay down the debt.
Yeah, I was going to ask him, do they know what the debt is? Or maybe I'm confused because I thought it was, when we talk about the deficit, we're talking about how much we import versus how much we export. So if we happen to not export as much as we import, right? Mm-hmm. So that means in order to even fix what we're talking about, we have to have companies here that and create things that other countries want. Other than that, how are we fixing this thing y'all talking about, that deficit?
Okay, give me a second. Rebel Red, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. I'm mostly listening. It's some type of political economic show you have. I'm buzzed off whiskey, but I'm just listening as a spectator, and if that's all right, unless you want me to get involved. But it's y'all's show. Thank you, though.
Okay. So I'm gonna just bring you in the back, so you can just hang out back there. It's my first time meeting you. So, all right.
Hey, Sharon, can I ask a question to the panel? Which I'm sure somebody will know the answer. What is the one thing that the U.S. exports more than any other country in the world?
Ideas.
Nope.
Currency.
Nope. Weapons.
Yeah.
We out-export almost at probably more than the next half countries combined. So that's what we're the master at. Weapons and killing shit. So other than that,
true to that.
And every country isn't buying weapons over and over and over, but we other than that, we import pretty much everything else.
Question.
Can I say something to that? Oh, my bad. I was wondering if I could just speak on that real quick. Just real quick. I will be real quick. What that brother just said about exporting weapons and sending weapons to places. Yeah, They did that same shit to us in the early 80s, in the early 90s. They put weapons right in our neighborhoods. They doing the same shit. Dog, but y'all got it. That's crazy though that he just said that, and I just thought of that. Soon as he said it, I thought of it because they did the same thing in our own neighborhoods.
Quick question though: are FBAs ready for like 1 million wealthy tethers to move to the U.S.? How would FBAs cope with 1 million tethers who are
Y'all
multi-million?
ain't got that many.
Hold on. First of all, the people that got $5 million as to come here, they're not going to be tethers. Right? That's number one. Number two, a tether is somebody that is attaching themselves to something and trying to destroy it from within. So they don't have to do that because they got the money to just be themselves. They planted themselves. It's like a VIP to America. 5 minutes, you got 5 minutes. Hey, come through. We're gonna roll out the red carpet. We're gonna put you on the biggest plane we can. Come through. You helped out bring down our debt to income ratio. We appreciate you. So they are not going to be considered tethers. I don't know why we act like we don't understand what tether means, but it actually means something. It doesn't mean immigrant. So if a Russian millionaire come over here, that's not a tether.
But you don't think they'll be hate?
So the thing is, the real thing that y'all need to be thinking about is like, damn, all the tethers that voted for Donald Trump, y'all need to be worried because y'all ain't got $5 million if y'all put it all together because you came out of a goddamn hut and you got dirty feet.
And if he actually does, if he takes up the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court rules that birthright citizenship's over, they're going back, boys. They're going back. That's the end of that. I don't know if you guys understand what birthright citizenship is, but yeah, they're going back if that's the case.
I do. I definitely do.
United States citizens.
Birthright mean you was just born here. That's it.
Yeah.
No,
And if you were born here, but your parents or your grandparents come from somewhere else, he's saying you gotta go.
No, it means
That
that.
goes for, no, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, it means that one of your parents got to actually be from here, born here.
U.S. citizen. Yep.
Exactly.
One.
No, because born here, literally, that's what he's talking about.
No,
it ain't about So you talking about the children? Because I've seen a lot of people on the interweb saying, "Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off."
Meaning if my mother was from a different country and my father's from a different country, they both became citizens. And they birthed me. I was born here. I would not actually have the birthright of an American citizen.
That's pretty much what he's saying. That's pretty much what he's saying. In a nutshell.
Sure. Question. Let's say Umbagwe and Babatunde buy the $5 million gold card. Are you going to accept them as Black Americans, or are you going to put them in a separate category?
So that's the thing. They will put themselves in a separate category. That's what a lot of the so-called tethers do. They already feel like they are better than Black Americans from the jump. And all we say, we just want some clear separation. Just say, hey, I believe that I'm Black, but I'm not Black American. I think I'm better than you. It's okay for you to say that because that's how you really feel. We hear y'all talk. When y'all have y'all quiet conversations, y'all don't want to call it a cookout. Y'all call it a barbecue. It's okay.
And you know what's crazy? That's what a tether is. It's simply someone that looks like us that come over here and try to block us. See, like he said, all people who come in, immigrants, whatever, foreigners, they're not all tethers. A tether means you're trying to block the original people, period. That's a tether.
And they do that. They do that in all communities. Look at all communities where these people move into. What do they instantly do? They buy up. I'm not even gonna get into it. Let's not. They buy up convenience stores. They buy up small properties. They buy up all of this stuff from their wealth from their host nation. It's just so tiresome.
You know what? I have another.
See, Bob. You know what? I'm glad. Before you go, realize that I'm glad that Bumpkin is here. So, see where white Americans and say a Irish person, they would easily say it. Say, yeah, I'm white American, you are Irish American. But for some reason, Black people say like it's not okay for us to say, hey, you're from the Caribbean and I'm from America. And that's all is happening in today's society is that now the way how things moved along, we got to separate FBA from the whole tether talk because y'all keep attaching yourselves and trying to destroy it at the same time. That's the issue. An Irishman and a white American, they're not trying to destroy each other, and they don't even care that they are separated.
I have had a few listen, I give a lot of shit to the Irish, okay? Just because, you know, they're Ellis Island goers, man. They came
Can I,
here in what, 18
But you know what? There's a sense
something?
in which Bumpkin is a redneck, and FBAs are just black rednecks. You don't think that black rednecks and white rednecks have similar worldview because of their
they
position?
just ghetto black people, just like they ghetto white people. Just like you just said, how we are is redneck style. They just ghetto niggas. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? And hold on, let me keep it all the way funky, man. There is no. I how can I say this
Keep it
in
real.
a way that it won't come off contentious? Look, yo, the only true American is us. Everyone else is an immigrant. Period. You might not like to hear this, but everyone that stepped off them boats seen us first. Period. You might not like what I'm saying, but I don't give a damn. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. We was always here. And if you came over here any other way, then you are the immigrant.
But hold
Sorry,
on. Are you
but
saying
not sorry.
Are you saying that having slaves brought here against their will, like forcibly immigrated here,
I
makes
didn't say nothing like that. I didn't say, and I understand that there were people brung over here as slaves. But what I'm telling you is they seen us when they got off them boats. We have always been here. You don't like what I'm saying? You could take it how you want it. And I'll let that go.
but
But it's real.
real quick?
It's real.
How have you always been here when you were brought over here on slave ships?
What he's saying is that
Okay, hold on. Let me just clarify because he asking the same question over there. What he is saying,
right,
we did not come on no damn boats. We were here already.
So
right.
you're
There were
native.
black people here
There's no boats for me.
already before slaves. So yes, a lot of black people came as slaves, and then there was some black people here already. That's what he's
Do
saying.
y'all not remember the movie? I mean, they put it in
Okay,
our
hold on,
face.
hold on.
When
It's
they
okay.
when they brought Kunta
Okay, hold
Kinte
on.
around, what they
Hold on,
say?
realize.
Hold on,
Hold on,
my
realize.
bad.
Hold on.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Chuck. So do you understand what he's saying now? That we were here already.
That's blatantly false. That's not.
Man,
So
you better do some research, brother.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Hey, can I jump in?
First time, Chuck. First time.
No, it's not Chuck's first time here. Go ahead, Beans.
Can I jump in? So Chuck, what you say that's blatantly not true. According to who?
according to science, according to genetics, you cannot. There's not enough sunlight in North America to produce the black skin adaptation, and so and we know that slaves were brought here.
So you never been to Florida or Texas or not? Okay, all right, you got it.
Hold on. Hey, when people are having a back and forth, so let them have their back and forth, please. Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, we know that
and then hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody understand that Beans and Chuck is having a back and forth. Let them have a quick back and forth, please. Go ahead.
So we.
Oh no!
Look at God. God is so good. God is so good. I mean, won't she do it? Won't she do it?
He probably got a phone call. He'll be right back.
But I'm wondering what makes him think that sunlight is required for melanin production, or a certain amount of sunlight. He said there wasn't enough sun.
Do you believe in evolution?
Huh?
Do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why am I pale? Why are you dark?
You think because you was in a cave for millions of generations?
Because when you
you're deficient.
No, not because I'm deficient. Because of evolution. Right. So look at Northern Europe, and look at the climate of Northern Europe.
Okay.
Now look at the climate of Africa.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when those two population groups, right, humans, they were both humans, when those two population groups were separated for 40,000 years, that's how long they were separated for, you are going to see genetic differences. Evolution, if you believe in evolution, you have to believe that. There is like no way around that.
You're not explaining anything.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm not explaining anything?
Okay, Bump.
You don't have to yell and just give us a second.
I just wanted to ask him, but nothing you said, which if I agree with it all, nothing you said has anything to do with sunlight. That's what he brought into it. You talked about the separation of the same group, the evolutionary issue. And I'm like, okay, but he mentioned there's not enough sun in North America to make black people, which I would disagree with. But I'm like,
Krusty, can I ask you a question? When you say he said, who you talking about?
Chuck.
Is he here?
No.
Okay, thank you. So,
okay.
Duncan, what's your argument right now? Because you're making a totally different one. So let's talk about the one that you're making since you're here.
What the hell, I know?
Sorry, let's break this down.
No, don't break it down. I'm just saying your
Okay,
argument.
so when I'm sitting here saying, right, so when I say environment, do you not think I'm talking about sunlight as well as other factors?
Okay, so you're making a sunlight argument as well?
Of course, yes.
Okay, cool.
Does Africa have harsh winters where the sunlight's blocked out for the majority of the year?
I'll take your word for it, whatever you say.
Does it or not?
I don't know. I'll take your word for it so we can move forward.
Yes, it does not, right?
Okay.
Europe does.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Again,
okay.
Let's start right here. You're light skin, pale skin, because you are deficient of melanin, yes or no?
Sure.
Okay. So it is your argument that melanin itself could only exist in Africa.
Yeah, kind of in hotter environments.
Say, okay, I get the point.
No, but it's hotter environments because it's not just Africa, right? Because you also have the indigenous people of Australia, but that's also a hotter environment, right? And they have darker skin.
Bunkin, this is the part where you're supposed to just admit that you were wrong. Why are you doing that?
Because listen, I've gone to bats with.
No, I don't care what you did before.
There are two types of FBAs, all right, that I've experienced, right? You have the civil ones, right, and then you have the people that think they were indigenous people,
right. Right.
Hold on.
So from your argument,
hold on, I break it down. Hold on, let them finish it up. They're almost done.
I'm just saying from what you said your own self. At first, it was that you don't believe that the melanin could exist in the Americas, but I'm saying by your own take, you just named a place whose conditions could be equated to Americas, right, where melanin also existed. Right, so I'm saying you cannot suggest that it couldn't exist here. That makes no sense at all.
Right.
Like
if you can't realize TV, stay on camera. It makes for a better show.
Can I ask him one quick question, though, please?
No, you.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Let everybody. Let them finish. Let them finish. I got you. Let them finish their conversation. Everybody would be able to get in there. Everybody want to talk about this topic. So let them finish it up. They almost done. Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, if the first point that you made, your first point of contention that you made, the argument that you made, if that is flawed, and you yourself just pointed out that it was flawed, not me. Once you brought up Australia, checkmate. I didn't have to say shit.
Why?
Well, because you don't need the sun to create melanin.
No, I said it was a similar environment to Africa.
Right, you're saying it is, but I'm saying it can also be considered a similar environment to America as far as the fact that they do have winters, right? It does get cold, right? And there are places where it absolutely got cold at where melanin or melanated people existed. And here's the thing, just like if you're acknowledging that the reason why you're pale is because you're lacking in melanin, that also means that melanin comes on a spectrum, right? So that does not mean that the people who were here in the Americas when the colonizers showed up were the blackest of people. But it just means that they were melanated people and people of color.
Correct. Because because it seems like y'all just want to jump in. Y'all don't want to let them finish. It's okay. I got you.
Ask him if he ever heard of India.
It's okay. You don't need to ask. We don't got to ask people questions. We could just.
India is full of black people, and that's on the Asian continent.
Yeah. I just think. Oh, you want me to wait? I'll wait. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right. And also, white people, y'all do have melanin. It's just not as much as ours, right? So that's just what it is. Ain't nobody is the color of a piece of white paper. So you do have. It just this is why, and this is why a podcast would say you have melanin deficiency instead of saying that you are not melanated, right? Because you do have some melanin, but it's just not as much as being pied, right? But
maybe I missed it. So what is he saying was here? I'm trying to figure out what is he saying that was here before white people came and colonized.
That's a
Okay.
great question, actually.
That's
That
a
is-
good question. So who wants to answer that? I
Yeah.
believe how you pronounce your name, Mr. Red?
Rebel.
First of all, thank you for having me to your show. It's quite interesting to hear disparate perspectives, sir.
I'm gonna grab some.
Hello. Yes, Reviler Red, but you could
Okay.
just say Rev or whatever slur you want. No, I'm kidding. Weird. This is a show that we don't do slurs, correct, for YouTube and other reasons.
As much as we possibly can, yes. We
Oh, I
try
like
to
that. I
keep
like
all
that answer.
Yeah,
I know that's right. All right. Okay. You guys have a compendium. I actually subbed. Even if you kick me out right now, I'll stay subbed for real. I'm not a coward baby like many people are. But real quick, are we okay? So, freaking smorgasbord of multiplicitous things. We talking about melanin. We're talking about race. We're talking about indigenous peoples to Americas. We're talking about IQ. I can stay away from that one. We're talking about what are we talking about here? Just please.
Okay. So at the very moment we were talking about melanated people because some people on the panel was saying that black folks were not here before slavery, and we are saying that black people were absolutely here before slavery. So people that came off them boats, when they first seen the very first person, they saw somebody of melanation.
Do you mean in North America or?
Yes.
Okay, so I said this in the chat, and you can feel free to push back, but no offense, and I will, and again, this is kind of, we're going like a we was Kang's argument, and there are whites that do this, and it's okay, if I can't say this, but, not that you believe in Yakub, but I know the types of, I'll just say this, I think we can say this, are you generally pro-black on this channel, yeah?
Well, no, but you answer the question. Who do you think was here?
You don't gotta be we don't have to be condescending or racist towards our questions, but you are free to ask your questions freely.
I really tried to not do that, really, dude.
Perfectly. So don't try. Just ask your question. You good?
Yes, sir. All right. So here, check it out. So while you guys were doing that, I was talking. So the Y DNA haplogroups in sub-Saharan Africa. The white. I'll try not refer to him as that, but the other white on here that I saw, that was a flaw insofar as saying that the North Americas were not as melanated. Probably not as melanated as Africa. That's a good point. But dude, still pretty significant melanin because the Native Americans that crossed over from the Bering Strait. There he is. It's the L2. It's the L2, and it's researchgate.net. Anyway, it's the Bantu expansion. So real quick, the Zulu and the Bantu. I won't talk about that because one annihilated the other, but people don't talk about that because it's black on black. But let's get to the point. What? It's just like white on white. They don't give a shit. You know, they don't give a dang. I'm sorry. Who knows?
It's okay.
Family show, brother.
Appreciate it.
I cannot be saying brother. Other person.
It's okay. You can say brother. It's
say brother.
It's okay.
By the way, the title is not a joke. But anyway, I thought this was interesting that a black individual is hosting a show with disparate views and opinions, and I'm like, yo, I'm on an inverted sleep schedule. All right, so to get to it, to say sub-Saharan African people were here in North America first, I think that's kind of delusional. And you could tell me if I'm wrong, but like science, we have to take with a grain of salt. Like religion, but religion, it's all Semitic predicated or it's Eastern. All right, so that's all the word of man predicated on the word of man. I don't trust that either. I grew up Catholic, Lord and Justice Bail. I worship nature.
And this one he's rambling.
Okay, y'all, it's okay.
They would have been red Native Americans that are Asiatic derivatives, basically the cross from the Bering Strait, and we could look at more haplogroups. But I'll be quiet now and let them refute me if you can. Thank you, sir.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Not necessarily a refutation, but you're just saying that you are saying they would have been melanated people, though.
Not as melanated as you, though. Or
that's fine. That's fine.
Not as light as me.
Right, not as light as you, not as dark as me, but melanated. Yeah. Okay.
But
okay, so all right, so let's just get so we none of us can prove how melanated whatever, but the main thing is that it was melanated people here first is the argument that we are actually having a conversation to how deep the melanation is. We don't have to go that far into the
Yeah,
argument.
they weren't white. They were the Europa. They were white, but they weren't white. Yeah.
I like that you said Europa. Go ahead. That
Wait,
was
the
funny.
conversation is
So
if
hold
they
on.
were
So I want everybody to be able to
melanated.
get in because I see this part of the conversation. Everybody want to jump in. Go ahead, Eat a Man. Eat a Man want to say something. Then we're gonna just make it very DEI. So we're gonna go Eat a Man, Bumpkin, Old Crusty, Bum, Beans. So every color and gender get a chance to talk.
Yeah, so I think the point that I'm making is that humans have always been migrate. They always migrated, right? So we know that the equator goes part of America. You can say it's South America, the middle of America. Listen, the equator goes across America just like it goes across Africa. So we got to stop saying like the equator only goes against Africa and it don't go nowhere else against the world, right? It's just a bad argument, right? So since we know that people migrate. And nobody and people still haven't answered my question. If it wasn't melanated people here, who was here? And I think that's the question that you got to answer. Who was here if it wasn't melanated people?
Well, he just literally gave us a direct answer to that question.
Yeah, so Red answered it already. Bumpkin, would you like to?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if we're talking about just melanated, then I cede my point because Asiatic people are melanated. They definitely don't look like white people, that's for sure. They're definitely melanated. So then I would cede my point.
Yeah,
I didn't know that's
trying to get you to do.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what we were doing. Any sort of melanation, yeah, I cede my point.
Have you ever? But somebody brought up the Indian people from India. Have you ever seen one of those people? How they look?
Yeah,
right. Like that's what I'm saying. So imagine that, but with the quote unquote Native American phenotype.
Are you familiar? Right. Are you familiar with the migration patterns of India?
I'm actually not. No.
Yeah, that's why they are of that dark complexion.
Because you said they migrate.
So now we're going back to. So now you're going back as the sunlight thing.
No. But I was just diffuse. Oh my god, I don't care.
Right.
I already ceded my point. Right.
Yeah,
I already ceded my point.
So
but
don't try to backtrack it.
Specifically with India, though, it's not a good
So we're hold on. I think we got to do a full circle though. The full circle is so with FBA, people say that they was the indigenous people that was here. You can see that's a possibility.
Right.
I just don't think the haplogroups in the bones support that.
Wow.
They just don't. I mean, honestly, if you show me a pre-colonization set of bones that match like sub-Saharan DNA, absolutely, I'll cede the point to you 100%. But no one has been able to display that to me. So until that happens, they are Asiatic. They came over.
Fine. So he said. So hold on. So this way we not get confused. It's okay. It doesn't matter what you think. He said you just got to show him the proof of the bones. Okay. So Old Crusty, Uncle Rico, you were supposed to be next.
Yeah, I'll just be brief. I was going to say that I agree with you, Bumping, that some of India can be accounted for by migration, but not all of it. In addition, you have the Polynesian people, also very dark in complexion. So it's still disputed by the sunlight, and I'll land my plane there.
Okay. So now next was supposed to be Bomb.
Oh, me? Oh, good.
If you want to, you don't have to.
No, I do. No, I've just been waiting on because migration is the important thing. And Black people from Africa have been migrating for a very long time. There's Black people all over. Okay. And the thing about Black people is that we come in different shades and everything, right? So there's the idea that when they say, well, they won't be this Black. But they'll be this Black, you know. And so here I am, lighter than most of the white people up here, right? And my eyes are bluer than probably both of you. And I am a Black woman.
Good point.
He said no because I'm not.
All right. That's where you want to land it at?
Yes, I'm done. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Beans. You was next. I think I like how this is moving.
I don't want to argue, but I'm just tired of people who look like Bomb calling themselves Black.
You can get tired of it if you want.
Y'all gotta be biracial, Bomb. It's okay.
I am. I'm Native American also. I'm Native American also.
Stand
and
on
black.
the racial thing and let us
Yeah.
black people be
But I
black.
don't call myself biracial. You did.
We need a win.
But if you are the one up to win, you lost, baby. You a loser.
All right.
Let us have black to ourselves.
Okay, so I think we almost done with the melanated conversation, and I guess we could get almost back to the gold card. Realize you want to close us out with the melanated part, because I think everybody is in agreement that it had to be some melanated people here.
Look, man, you can't go nowhere on this planet without seeing somebody that look like me. And if that's the case, and we've been taught this, y'all, that there's melanated people all over this planet, right? Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, then you can't tell someone, especially, and I have to say this, and I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, but if you don't know who your peoples are, if you can't go back in time and find your peoples, there's no way you can tell me who I am. I understand that it angers you because you've been taught, you've been indoctrinated to think that everyone comes from one place. But if this world is so big and so vast, that makes no sense. Use your critical thinking, right? And so what I'm saying to you guys is that this is our land, and we have to be proud of that. We are some of the most innovative, loving, open people. We have brought everybody into our own thing, man. So why is it that we allow others to tell us who we are or to even speak on our business? You need to just literally just stand by and understand and try. I won't say just understand, but try to understand, because we have always tried to understand others. We have always brought others into our fold. Man, people have become rich and famous because we allowed it. See, the thing about what I'm saying is I'm not trying to spread division or none of that. But at the end of the day, yo, we are them ones, and we deserve respect. We deserve a little bit of leave alone. Leave us alone. We deserve all that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'll end right here. I just hope that, because it's coming. It's coming. I swear to y'all, I can see it. I can feel it in my spirit. It's coming. And our lands will be either given back to us or it's going to be a whole problem. And I'll land right there.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
Please. I think that's the problem. Like, I love my brother here, but he talking about he ain't trying to offend nobody or he ain't trying to separate. Everybody else can separate from us. As soon as we start talking separation, we got to include everybody. I know right now, if I had a Nigerian up here, he gonna say he Nigerian. He ain't gonna identify with us unless he trying to get some benefits. Like, so no,
exactly,
listen,
my point,
we
brother.
are different. Listen, we are different. We're not the same. We need to draw a line in the sand and
my
say,
whole point. People only want to attach themselves to us to be great, because a lot of people that's outside of us, dog, they not great. They might look like us, but they're not great. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. This is the truth. Hold on. Wait a minute, brother. Let's walk.
I'll let you finish. You literally stopped me halfway while I was speaking.
I'll try to wait. Hold on. I'll try to wait. Realize you gotta let them finish. Everybody let you finish. Let either man finish his point, and clearly you want to have a back and forth with him. And we
can have a back and forth. But what I'm saying is, you still was playing safe talk, talking about I'm not trying to divide, I'm not trying to offend, I'm not trying to do these things, and that's the problem. Is we the only country, black people, is willing to give away our land, give away everything, and nobody else is willing to be so giving like we are. No, let's draw the line in the sand and say we different, and stand on it.
There you go, Gad. That's your turn. Go ahead. Realize.
Okay, so I didn't say that. My thing is, we have to do those things. That you see, that's the thing. That's why I want to walk with you, brother, because we really saying the same thing. At the end of the day, I don't want to allow people just to attach themselves to us because they see our greatness, right? Now, allow me to keep on going. Dog, the only time that people want to be quote unquote black, which we are not, right? The only time they want to be us is when they want to attach their selves to our greatness. We are great. We have been great forever. And we continue to be great. And the only time I see the other mother suckers that want to attach themselves to us is because they want to be great with us. Can you go and look in any of those countries where those people come from and they invented anything that changed the world, anything that the world uses? No. And I'll land right there, bro. Real talk. I agree with the bro.
And
For real. Yeah.
So what Either Man was saying, so that's where we could move on to saying that he wants you to speak like that. Don't try to excuse it and give excuses for it and say it in a nice way. Say it the way how you feel it. Say it with your chest.
Okay, my bad to the brother too.
That's what he was saying. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Red.
What?
I got you, Bomb.
Okay, hi. Yes, I'm slightly inebriated. I'm a degenerate off liquor. I do not advise that. But that, by the way, that has been some of the ruin of my people. And yes, like the hat. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering, the yellow teeth and the permanent gold teeth, and smoking cigars 10 years. I used to do it every day. I do it like once a week now. Fillings can't be white. And there you go. So there's
It's
nothing else they
okay.
can insult me with.
Yeah, we don't mind the gold teeth and the cigar smoke.
Thanks.
That's okay.
Yeah, the yellow and the breath's fine. But anyway, I was working in the yard near the pool, so my hair looks like garbage right now. Anyway, this is like aesthetic white girl Kardashian shit. They're like they're not even Turkish. They're like Armenian. Anyway, so real quick, I gotta ask this. I have to ask this, and if I get kicked for this shit, fine. Oh, the stuff. Sorry. By the way, I usually in my personal life say the N-word a copious amount. Hard R or A. I'm not doing that this time. I
appreciate it.
Thanks. Well, I mean, you're nice to me too, so fair enough. And by the way, not all are okay. Let's not. Here's the thing: if you now, this guy down here, whatever, I don't know who this guy is, man. Maybe he was in Lee County Jail with me for 3 months. I don't know. I'm kidding, dude. Lee County Jail sucks. All right. All levity aside, come on. Give me a crack of some levity. I can slur myself, right? All right. So what I'm saying is this argument that has been put forth, I have seen, I'll be careful with the language for YouTube and stuff, white nationalists, you can probably get that, utilize the same thing about the J. L'Chaim's, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. There's truth to a certain amount of it. There's truth to a certain amount of us taking, for instance, rock music. Elvis Presley, from Chuck Berry, from Jackie Wilson, who died in a horrific way. Your love keep lifting me higher.
Please don't do this.
That one. I used to play that on bass, dude. Anyway, all right. Levity aside, here's the problem. How is it if and I know you're not saying us whites, us ice people. I've been in Florida since I was 4, by the way. But I know you're not saying that. But so how is it though? Just like I've said to the WNs, the white, the white Nats. I've said, how is it if we can steal an entire society from you like the Jays supposedly did to us, why in the F can you not retrieve it? Can you not get it back? Now, I'll fall back, you hear me? But I want to know that because none of y'all been able to reclaim it, just like my people not been able to reclaim it from them. So either we're not as smart as we think we are and you're not as you think we are, or something else is going on with the paradigm. Go ahead.
Okay, good. It's my turn. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, baby. Ooh, because, okay, so it didn't make sense what you just said because you claimed that somebody took something from you and you're not able to reclaim it. And then you're asking us, if you took something from us, why can't we reclaim it? Right? But y'all was mad when we just took back some country music. Right? Rock was stolen from y'all years ago. Lil Wayne, a rapper, took rock from y'all. So I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, but I do want to say something, because you it sounds like you're telling us you're racist, but you don't want to speak on it because you don't want to get kicked off. But I would ask you a question, my brother, because y'all like to say that we look like apes. I'm gonna be honest, you might want to shave a little because you look like the ape for real. And
yes,
so,
ma'am.
yes,
By
so
way,
I just want to
this
be
is an
clear.
ad hominem, and you're talking to me again.
I'm talking to you. Yeah.
So why, if
So
you're so ingenuitive, why could you not reclaim it? Did Nikola Tesla get his stuff stolen? Was he black? I don't think so. But all
okay,
of us
but
ad
he wasn't
hominems.
what you are neither. So see, that's what
Okay.
y'all have been doing, right? Just because y'all have lighter skin, y'all started to claim that y'all are the same. But
I
like
don't
I
think we're
said,
the same,
an
man.
Irish person is not the same as somebody from Europe, right?
Exactly. So
Right.
you're
So
racist
okay,
like
so
me.
clear.
And Zulu is not the same as Banthu, right?
What have you created? There you go.
What have I
Please.
done or committed? What are you
Okay,
asking me?
all right. So, all right.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me read some of the super chats.
Ad hominems, by the way, low IQ. Go ahead.
Well, you the one that started.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to dip out pretty soon. I gotta go to work.
No, she asked you a question. What
Okay, hold on. I want to get the temperature to calm back down. E Capone with the $4.99. Money talks. It does. Chuku Igwe with the $4.99. This is a major identity crisis. You don't know if you're ADOS, FBA, which is pretty much the same, Israelites, Moors, Hoteps, not real, Indians, or African Americans. Main character syndrome. We are absolutely separating ourselves because we do know who we are. That's the problem. And it seems like people have a problem when we are trying to separate ourselves. Natasha Vincent with the $9.99. What is Bobcat Gold Threat illegitimate son doing on the panel? Okay, so I know Bumpkin wanted to say something before he goes. Podcast, you want to jump in?
No, let Bumpkin go if he's finna leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm about to.
That
head out.
nigga
I gotta
Barkin
go
ain't got no
some stuff.
job. Stop letting him lie to y'all. I can tell he ain't got no job. Go ahead,
I got a
Barkin.
job, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
He took.
I gotta go into work early today for an 8. Kind of sucks when I normally work 12s. Cutting our hours.
Look at
But
God.
but all I'm gonna say is, legitimately, when it comes to immigration in the United States, it is a mass corporation problem. They're the ones that lobby the government to bring in these immigrants so they can pay them for cheap labor, and they don't care about the repercussions, culturally, or anything. Also, fun fact: when we're moving into the age of automation, right, and we imported in all of these migrant workers, what's going to happen if we do that and then we automate their jobs away? What's going to happen then? We're going to have a huge poverty problem in America.
Okay.
Once again. So it's just cheap labor, right? For a small amount of time, and they do not care about the long-term ramifications of the problem.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Bumpkin, for bringing it back to the topic. I appreciate that. Podcast, you want to speak on that so we can get it back to the topic? Go ahead, Podcast. I know you can do it.
Well, I really wanted to respond to what the brother said. So
Yeah, respond. Shit, we chose smoke today.
You've been making faces the whole time. Go ahead.
Yeah, but they weren't at him. But the thing is that it sounded like, maybe I'm wrong, but it sounded like he said maybe white people aren't as smart as they think they are, and neither are black people as smart as they think they are, because neither one of us have been able to reclaim the things that we claim once belonged to us, right? So I don't think that was a shot at us, because if it was, then it had to be a shot at white people too. And then why would we be offended by that? But the thing I will argue to answer the exact question that you asked, Red, is that the people here didn't view the land or anything as theirs. They didn't view it as belonging to them. They had no concept of this ownership thing, right? I can't remember exactly what the line was. I remember I was watching this one documentary, and they talked about how when
they didn't have a language for owning the earth. They did not. It's not
right.
even a part of their language. But
exactly. So like when they came and said, "Listen, we'll give you this for New York or whatever it was," they was like, "Wait, what?" I mean, okay, well,
like you can't own the earth. The earth is just here. Like it's here.
I don't know what that means, but okay, like we'll do lunch with you or whatever. And then it turned into this other thing, right? Because some people absolutely are conditioned to practice domination over others. So that's the thing I would argue, right? That ownership idea wasn't there. And it's only a recent phenomenon where some information has come about to make people who look like me think that, damn, maybe we were indigenous to this place, and maybe a lot of other information is suggesting that this idea that all of us was brung from this place that we have no connection to probably doesn't make that much sense, right? Like, if you're going out of your way to make sure that these people are oppressed and suppressed to some degree, at least from a majority standpoint, it's probably some information that you don't want them to have. You went out of all this trouble to so that they wouldn't know where they were from, just to tell them, oh yeah, we'll tell you where you was from, Africa. Nah, I don't think that makes too much sense. I think you would go out of your way to take away my knowledge of self if I was from the place you were trying to maintain a stronghold on. That makes more sense to me.
That was to you, Red.
I have never heard an actual intelligent, and I didn't want to degrade it by comparing it to a We Was Kang's argument. No, walk with me, fire walk with me, Twin Peaks. Wait, that is literally the parallel to the most intelligent. It's basically the guy is saying, hey man, you say that we're all from this continent, maybe genetically if you break it all down, but maybe we're from other places too. Like that is more sensible. And if they found evidence of Celts in Brazil, in ancient proto-Brazil, I mean, I still think it's a weak hypothesis, but I get where he's coming from. By the way, this man, whether he and I hate each other or not or whatever, I don't even know this guy, but, you know, I just want to say this guy made some arguments that are at least logical, syllogistically, and follow, you know, some type of delineation of reason, whereas the other person, without calling her names or stereotypical things that I could call her, was just like, you know, you looking like a caveman to like ad hominems. Yeah, that's why I insult myself at the beginning, bro. You don't have that power over me. Trust me. You didn't make me smoke all those cigars. Thank you. My breath's fine. But it's like, it's all ad hominems and stupid stuff. And it's white people do this too. By the way, real quick. So you want to talk about?
You don't got to just go to the topic if you can. If not, you don't have a rebuttal.
I'm drinking, man. What's the topic again, mate?
You don't even know.
No,
alcoholic. Mad that I called him.
It's okay.
Hey, alcoholic dementia.
I don't want to have a screaming session.
Me can't breathe. Okay, all right, I can't say that one.
Fair, right? Hold on 1 second, Shake. To be fair though, if you really want to go back, I think you should reset it, right? And the reason why is because if anybody in the chat hasn't been here the whole time, they probably like me. They probably don't even understand exactly what that is. I heard some of the arguments being made, but what the actual impact of it is. So you probably need to reset it.
Right. Okay. Real quick.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Because it's this guy showing y'all show.
What that is.
Okay, so all right, so we could have we'll reset it back to the topic. It's kind of what Bumpkin was saying about the Trump gold card. So Trump announced that he wanted to take away the visa lottery and the green card lottery and replace it with a gold card instead. And so immigrants can pay $5 million to become an American citizen. Is
good.
So that's what he is suggesting. So now, that was just introduced on podcast with that, and so this is fresh on your mind. So so you probably have a lot of thoughts. So now, with that being that, what is your thoughts off the rip? Brand new information to your head. He is taking away the green card lottery and all the other ways you could get a green card. And now moving forward, if it passes, you have to pay $5 million to become an American citizen. What is your thought on that?
I mean, immediately it's problematic from an economical standpoint because America is for sale. And so now, even though I'm not really fond of immigrants, but now, instead of it being a situation where the immigrants that are coming over also, even if handed some sort of assistance along the way, still have to work, right? We know that they still work, right? So they still have to work and climb like everybody else, even if they are given some sort of cushion. Now you're saying, well, if you come over, you come over. If you can pay $5 million for that, what other kind of money do you have, right? And now you get to come over with purchasing power immediately, right? You can go straight into buying up things from people who otherwise have been working and saving for a long time, trying to get to the point where they could afford something. So that's the immediate problem that I see with that. But that would also mean you probably would. I think in order to really see an impact, it would probably take a minimum of 100 people. But I think if those 100 people, you put 6, 7 of them in New York, 10 of them in LA, like, you see what I'm saying? You immediately see a problem if they come in with that purchasing power on an individual basis. And then don't let them come in and immediately create some sort of collective where they're pooling their resources. Oh my God.
So you understand the business move, but you're against it. That's what it sounded like. I gathered from what you said.
I mean, like I said, I don't like immigrants as it is. If I had to choose between what we have now and that, maybe I would choose that.
Really?
I mean,
so you don't think it would cause a problem for the big corporate people as well, right? So, because I'm pretty sure they would probably make it into a way where a corporate person could pay that $5M to get you in here as well.
See, I told y'all that. Thank you, Sheikh. It's about time. Thank you for proving to the world that you also can think, right? Because that is a place that I hadn't went to. Oh my God, Sheikh, your ass is crazy. That is fucking wild. I didn't even think of that. Damn.
The fact if I make you think that is
that is crazy. Okay. But parsing it out, it's 5 million for an individual.
Yes, as of right now. That's the
Yeah, because if it's 5 million and it's like for each individual instance, and you get to pack 20 people in that 5 million, that's all
right. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's just give them
the now, right? So now this is how I'm looking at it. Right? So now to get the biggest and brightest of all these other places as well, because we know how AI is taking over.
Absolutely.
So now they're gonna say, hey, we found this little kid in wherever this small place is. I'm gonna put the 5 million up. You come over here, you're gonna be American citizen. You could change your family's life one year at a time, right?
Is that a write-off for them? Huh? Is that a right? Would that be a write-off for the company?
I don't know how they're gonna structure it yet, because this is right now is just a suggestion that he's saying that he want to do this 5 million for a gold card. Said he's trying to change it from green card to gold card. Like he's trying to change the whole way how we even communicate about immigrants completely. To be honest with you, and so
go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell me when you're done.
So my thing was it would be another version of how you will put these young people into slavery as well, because I'm gonna give you this 5 million, but I own you for the next X amount of years too.
So indentured servitude.
I just want to
absolutely, in my opinion.
So America's everything.
I just want to be clear. He didn't say buy a gold card like an immigrant green card, right? He said to buy Trump's gold card, right? Like as if he sold them sneakers and he sold.
Well, he's gonna frame it. He's going to frame it as is a Trump gold card or whatever, but he just replacing green card that he putting his name on it, like how he's, Trump.
But he can't do that.
Well, it's kind of like the Obamacare thing. How it's not really Obamacare; it's really just Affordable Healthcare Act, and then people call it Obamacare. So he's trying, No,
that's not the same thing, though, right? Because Obamacare had to go through Congress, and they called it Obamacare, but it's not really called Obamacare. But Trump is selling a Trump card, like he sold his stock or whatever that was, that crypto. That's what he mentioned. He was talking about selling that.
No, his meme coin is separate from this gold card.
Okay, that's not what I heard him say. I heard exactly what he said, and then he said they're gonna come over and then they're gonna start a business, a corporation. So he is literally selling American, like we are like we pimps, right?
Citizenships. Yeah, he's selling American citizenships.
Right, and so some of y'all think that's good for our country.
Okay. So, and that's what we're trying to mind. Our podcast is indifferent. He's not sure. He's still thinking about it. Brownsville, New York.
Man, this is crazy.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, cuz.
Just to clarify, so the green card program would not go away with this proposal of the gold card program, right? The difference is that the gold card program will also give you a path to citizenship, right? Which is different from the green card program, which just allows you to come here to work, etc. The gold card program would allow you to actually have a path to citizenship. So that's the two differences there. And then they also said that the gold card program could potentially get you to the United States much faster than the green card program.
Got you. So okay, so he trying to expedite the process. It's an interesting concept that he's trying to structure. He just announced it, so it's going to be a lot of new information coming out. That we're going to be able to mine out Bomb. So that's this. So I guess Brownsville cleared it up for me and Bomb just now, so we can have a better understanding of what Donald Trump is attempting to do. It's interesting to say the least. I don't think I'm for it. I don't like the idea of just buying your citizenship and expediting your citizenship in. I think it's a slippery slope to just get people that don't have no real American ideology. They just here to just spend money and buy shit up and just use their money as a weapon. I think those people are usually dangerous, especially coming from another country. They're going to feel 100% entitled to certain things because they got the money to do it. And that's the scary part.
I'm reading an article right now on CNN that is suggesting a similar program has already existed. Right? So it's saying created by Congress in 1992. It's saying that the card will replace the government's EB-5 immigrant investor visa program, which allows foreign investors to pump money into U.S. projects that create jobs and then apply for visas to immigrate to the U.S., right? So it says the EB-5 program can grant cards to immigrants who make a minimum investment of $1,050,000 or $800,000 in economically distressed zones called targeted employment areas to create jobs for American workers, according to the U.S. To the United States Citizenship Immigration Services website, right? So he just basically trying to take it from $1,050,000 to $5 million, right?
Essentially, yes. He's trying to switch to EB-5 and reframe it a little bit. My only problem is if that plan was already there, why he trying to switch it? Because he trying to do something different, or he just trying to get more people to notice it? And do we actually believe that this EB-5 revamp is it going to actually build a newer economy and more revenue and create jobs, or is it really truly just to attract wealthy? And he just gave out the bats and wealthy people, we got spots for you. Is that you know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of like, because you trying to revise the EB-5. It's kind of like, hey, did y'all know that we had this plan all along? Come over here, rich folks. Exactly. Or is it really to create jobs? That's my issue that I have with it.
To your point, this is outlining directly where the $1,050,000 went. So where does the $5 million go? Directly, right? Because even in this article, I'm not necessarily seeing anything except for the fact that the gold card is being offered to wealthy foreigners, giving them the right to live and work in the U.S., offering a path to citizenship in exchange for a $5 million fee. So this isn't necessarily telling us that the $5 million fee is going to be allocated to American citizens in any way, form, or fashion.
Besides saying that they're going to put it towards the American debt. That's what they say.
Stop.
No, that's
what the man said.
Stop. This is for Trump. This is his money.
You know what I'm saying, Bob? I don't know if he's gonna do it, but that's what the man said. It's a little. I don't know. It raised a lot of eyebrows and stuff for me when I seen it. I was like, "Why are you gonna replace the EB-5 with a $5 to expedite so they could work here and live here?" I don't know. That sounds a little fishy to me. It's gonna start off like that, and then you're gonna start shift shaping and because these people got a lot of money, and usually with money it has influence. And next thing you know, it's just gonna be like, I'm just buying my citizenship. Here they file them.
Let me ask this question real quick. If there are any economists watching right now, right, can you explain to us why it wouldn't be a better deal to use that money to get rid of Americans' debt? Not America's debt. Like literally get rid of Americans' debt. Right? It just even as a way to say, hey, listen, because we know this is going to impact in some kind of way, right? To Shake's point, when I read it and it says giving them the right to come here and work.
Yeah, that's
now this right now that connects to Shake's point. Oh well, companies can just pay the money to get the people over here who they want.
That's the word, and I looked at it as too. Exactly, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, hold on, why did y'all put work? Why somebody with $5 million to buy citizenship need to work? Just win.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It makes the idea what you said about companies paying the money for somebody make absolute sense at this point.
Well, there is this idea that members of the Trump team is proposing as far as what they'll do with part of those savings or part of that money that's generated from the gold card program, right? And it's essentially the same guys who are saying and thinking about, and I want to get y'all thoughts on this. They're saying taking part of the Dodge savings and issuing out a stimulus check. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but they're mulling over sending out a $5,000 stimulus check to each American that makes over a certain threshold of money. I believe it's around, if you make over around $50,000 or something like that. I don't know the fine details of it, but you're supposed to get a $5,000 stimulus check if it's approved, which is part of the savings from the Dodge program.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. To me, go ahead, Bon.
Now I was gonna say they didn't find any savings with the Doge thing, right? They realized that was all wrong, because so we're losing money. But if they giving out money, why would they give it out to the people who don't really need it? If you're making over 50, what about the people who make less than 50,000?
I mean, it sounds very targeted for them to say that, right? So to your point, it sounds, but it'll be something that can be explained away, and those people in that particular demographic, to be honest with you, might need it more so than some of the others, because once you get into that demographic of earnings, you tend not to see a lot of government assistance. So, they could argue they need it more than anybody, but this the thing though. To me, don't give the money to the people so they can go spend it and put it back into the economy. Like, I'm tired of that excuse. Pay off their debt. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's some people out here, you could just say, hey, listen, we willing to clear up $10,000 worth of your debt. Like, that'll do numbers for some people. I ain't got but about $22,000 worth of debt myself. Right? So I do feel some kind of way when people go spend 20 grand on a watch. I'll be like, damn, nigga, you could have just gave me a 650 credit score. You know what I'm saying? With that little pussy ass change real quick, right? But the fact of the matter is, that stimulating the economy shit, I'm tired of that excuse. Like, knock off some debt for some people, man. Like, damn, like, that give them, because for some people that's like a sort of a tax break. You know what I'm saying? Give the people a tax break, man. I know some people, it would probably do wonders for them to be able to save $5,000 or $10,000 of their credit card debt, to be able to get that up off their back, off their shoulders. All this, they always want to give it to you, knowing you're just gonna run out and spend it and put it right back into the economy. I mean, I don't like that idea no more.
But then there's also a thought though that once they clear your debt, all you're gonna do is make more debt, right? So,
Absolutely.
It works the same way. They're saying, and that's why I guess it has that income threshold built into it, because I guess I'm for proposals that would require or force the American people to be more responsible, right? I don't believe that we should just perpetually reward the irresponsible of us. I think that's not conducive to us being successful. I think we should be promoting programs which force people to do better instead of just pay people to stay at an impoverished situation. So I'm for, I guess you can say I'm more conservative on those type of ideas.
Well, but here's the thing. I would agree with you, right? Because I know people who I love very much that have high credit debt. And I always sit around and think about like hitting on the boat, winning the lottery or something like that, and then being in a position to pay that debt off for them. But then, like you said, thinking about they just gonna run it back up, right? And so, my whole thing would be to, if I'm going to take care of this debt for you, then I'm going to eliminate the resources that you have to recreate that debt. If you got 5, 6 credit cards totaling, 150K, well, we're gonna minimize that to one card with no more than 25. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that you don't run it up again. So I understand the point that you're making on Brownsville. But the thing is this though, in my opinion, though, I still say for those people specifically in that tax bracket, man, forget giving them the money and letting them spend it. If you're gonna give it to them anyway, is my point. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna give it to them anyway, don't give them $5,000 to go out and trick off. Make them do something responsible with it, like take care of their credit card debt.
Okay. Sounds like Brownsville's good there. Red wanted to say something. Go ahead, Red, and we bring in Supreme Goddess PhD. Go ahead, Red.
All right, thank you. I got to make a failed stand-up comedy joke as a quote racist. Black Seinfeld in the chat. We know you ain't that because your microphone would have been repossessed, bitch, within 2 months. Secondly, did that land at all? All right, no, okay. All right, this guy, Brownsville is actually very communicatively astute, propagate. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. So that guy's read the dictionary, read some books. And Beans and him are kind of in agreement. So real quick, Beans, you really stuck out what you said to me. Like you've even got some student loan debt. Dude, to give you an idea, like, and again, we'll leave race out of this one, but like I'm white and I grew up in like a middle upper class family. Then it got kind of lower class. But college, dude, real quick, I remember, like, I'm almost 40, man. I'm really old. And when I was 20 and I went to school on the other coast, I won't say the name of the university. It was a private university, huge, whatever. Had some fun, whatever. But literally $40,000 a year. I got out after 1 year, man. I finished like a little. I didn't finish. I was switching between bio and psych. The thing is this, and I think you guys will all agree. They don't have, and I think they do this on purpose. The powers that be, they do this to various people. I'll leave it at that. But they don't emphasize tech school. And tech school doesn't mean you have to be an auto mechanic, ACE certified, or an HVAC. I'm a certified HVAC mechanic. I suck at it. I hate it. I'll burn my hands on refrigerant. F it. I got into insurance later. But what I'm saying is this, is that there's no emphasis on these. Why? Because they're not exceedingly profit driven, right? They're not profit driven for the state, and they're not that profit driven for now it's technical college, so they can subsume them under the delineation of the label of college. Well, it was tech school. All I'm saying is this: some kids are dumb when it comes to reading, writing, and math, but then they're freaking smart with taking apart a lawnmower, man. Put it back together like Sling Blade. I seen Beans there. Killed this arbor with a lawnmower blade. All right, there you go. I want to say that, dude. And Beans, can you be my co-host on Telegram for the national you-know-whats? Because they'd like you. No, he's cool. All right, go ahead.
Nah, I mean, to your point, it is kind of marketed that way, right? But I think we're getting past that. I think this new generation, they done with that 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire on 40%. They done with that. They like, nah, I need to be able to move around. I need to be a influencer who does real estate. Like they trying to buy their time back, right? They can really appreciate their time. I guess the pandemic might have helped them out with that. But but at the end of the day, the student loan debt, yeah, I wish they would have forgave mine. They forgave my mom, they forgave my exes, They ain't forgive mine. But the student loan debt doesn't affect your credit, I don't think. So that's what I'm saying. You said it does?
It can.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I left college, by the way, because of that stuff, dude. But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I know, because not the highest my credit score ever was, I think, was 680 or 690. I think I may have made it to. I know I made it to 680. I think I may have made it to 690 right before I screwed it all up again. And that was with the student loan debt on there. Maybe it was in good standing for some reason, but I'm just saying, like, if you knock out the credit card debt right now, I get a great boost in my credit score, and I'm able to make some moves. And so I'm just saying, for those people in that particular demographic, if they saying to Brownsville point around the 50K income, oh man, definitely, hit them. Make them use the $5,000 responsibly, because they're not gonna do it responsibly if you just give it to them. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna do it responsibly. So you gotta make them do it by just taking care. Hey, look, we're gonna knock this credit card debt out for you.
Bean, so I'll shut up. Yo, if I'm in Fort Myers, Florida, I dox myself. You want to come kill a racist? There you go. Anyway, no, I won't say that. It's a joke. Wait. Well, it's not. I don't care. I have guns too, allegedly. But anyway, look, no, what he's saying, dude. All right, I'll sorry.
Where the hell y'all get a caveman from?
Girl,
I
we know.
was gonna say,
Girl,
all right, sorry, Sam.
it's been crazy.
Is this a damn Geico commercial or what?
And by the way, you couldn't refute me. These men could talk to me logically. You could not refute me. You couldn't take it back. But anyway, he's right.
What you mean? I said
It's
the
a
same
scam.
thing he said, except I mentioned.
Why are you even
that you
engaging
look for
with
certain.
y'all?
Oh, Shanika, why you engaging, girl? Shit, I know you got
What
Ray
is
Sean,
But
baby
he
daddy,
got
and
ri-
2 EBT
engaging
payments
with
behind, bitch,
them?
and your cash done run out. Beans
These
done
are-
I
told me. He the
know.
baby daddy of 4 of them. All right, go
You
ahead. I
look
had to
like
do
you
that.
could
Don't
wear a
get to the
dress
end, but I gotta
and
do
some
that.
heels
All right,
and
go ahead.
purse,
Sorry.
baby.
Don't kick me, cuz. Sorry.
You did that so well. Wow.
Child, I ignore white people like that. So, so what's the topic, Sharon?
About Trump's gold card.
Okay, explain to me what the gold card is.
Also, we actually trying to mine it out now. It's a brand new concept that he's trying to introduce. He is trying to replace the EB-5 citizenship. So that was the way how people put in 1.5 million to invest in America, and they would get some kind of way into citizenship. And now he is attempting to revamp that, and the people that can afford $5 million, they would have a road to citizenship and work in America with that $5 million gold Trump card. And so we're trying to figure out, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that? That immigrants or people from other countries can pay $5 million to come work and be on the path to citizenship quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Weren't they already doing that? Yeah, rich people have always been able to kind of pay their way into various countries, right? So if you go and try to get citizenship in any number of countries, they're typically going to tell you got to invest X amount of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Right, unless you married to somebody or something to that effect. But so I mean, it's not
and
like
also they're gonna get. And also, I forgot to put in that they're gonna try to get rid of the lottery, the green card lottery, and stuff like that.
So it's just
right.
Okay, so it would just be open to the people who can pay the $5 million, or do they pick the rest of the people?
That's what in my opinion, I think that's what they are trying to lean towards. Right. We don't have no proof because it's brand new. It's nothing written down yet. It's just Donald Trump being Donald Trump talking this talk, and he's getting people to rally behind it, right? So ain't no real documentation behind it like that yet. But in my opinion, I think it's that. I think he's trying to get rid of the lottery and all the other green cards, and he's gonna try to mainly have it as you have that $5 million, you could be a citizen. Or major companies are going to be able to buy slaves. I'm going to pay $5 million for all your skill sets, and you're going to have to work for me for this amount of years. And that's when I feel like $5 million is up. Right. That's what it sounds like to me personally, but I can't prove it. But I just feel like that's a writing on the wall, in my opinion.
Right. So that's always the thing. So they tell you, you know, what they plan to do with it, but there's all these, what they call them, unintended consequences or whatever. And a lot of times they know exactly what those consequences are, and they actually intend them, right? So they tell you, oh, we're doing this because of this, but they actually doing it for those unintended consequences. So I mean, that sounds about, you know, right. I agree with you. They're probably trying to set that type of scenario up, and in the process they would be circumventing the Immigration Act, right?
Yeah, that's what I think is happening. You know, but we don't got no proof of it yet. We just talking about it. He just brought it up, but it's just like, what you mean? Somebody with $5 million is gonna work in the U.S. They got $5 million to spend on a goddamn citizenship, and they gonna go to work? I don't think that would be my plan if I had $5 million to invest in a country to go work in that country.
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense to me. You are not a working class person, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Where you got $5 million to spend on that specifically. So
crazy, bro. That is a cold.
So I just can't prove it or nothing. I'm just saying they just man. And then so you know what I'm saying? Just think about how many people Elon could buy in this country. He got $300 billion. That's a lot of 5 millions. First of all, he'd probably be able to buy himself into the country too, right? Because he want to be a citizen. We know he does.
Wait, Elon, you talking about Elon?
No.
Elon Musk?
No. He is not a citizen.
He would definitely buy his way into it, right?
Okay, wait. I'm confused. If he's not a citizen, how can he have a child support?
The writing is on the wall.
I was doing the Elon.
He is not he ain't no American citizen. He not American.
It's like digging the air if you're doing Elon.
Elon Musk is not American.
Yeah, he's not an American, and he's
South African.
He is South African. So if he becomes a citizen, he's gonna be African American. By the way.
Oh, do y'all know his backstory about like how his family ended up in South Africa?
I do not.
They ran him out right out of somewhere.
No. I forget which country they originated in, but they actually chose to go to South Africa because it was in line with their views. They moved there for the apartheid. Like they weren't one of those original people who came there and created apartheid and stayed there. No, they left where they was at to go over there for that. Like his family is known to have like Nazi leanings and stuff like that.
Right. Okay, that's what I heard. And I
his
heard
his mama too, and then him too.
Mm-hmm. I heard they kicked him out of Africa. Is that true? They ran him out. They just ran him out because of their beliefs.
I would find that hard to believe just because it's so many other white people over there with those same beliefs and they ain't ran them out. They got a whole town that's whites only.
Yeah, I heard that they
which is crazy. And they starting to make some noise too, by the way, that white only South African town. They starting to make a lot of noise as of lately. So
yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's why I also think that it's kind of strange when it's happening, right? Like the moment that you have one of the richest men in the world, now you offering a $5 million citizenship. That's weird.
According to my research, he is a U.S. citizen. He has 3 different citizenships, including America, Canada, and South Africa. But
he won't be able to go for president. I'll tell you that.
Now that's all good, but because I'm ahead in my mind, if he's not a citizen, how could somebody file a child support case on him? You see what I'm saying? Like you would have to be a citizen in order for somebody to file a child support case on you. I've never heard somebody.
No, so if you're not, so if as long as you got a social security number and you paying taxes, you could get hit with a thing. Because I know people that's in the Bronx, like that, they hanging out with Fighter Complex. They on they on child support, and they off the boat for the past 10 years.
You said they got a social security number. So social security number is something that we do, or is that something the whole world?
It's not. Well, let me not call it a social security number. It's a work
Oh. No,
number.
but Social
It's
Security
like
number itself, is that something the whole world do? Or is that
it's a tax ID. But you don't get no Social Security after you live your life here. You don't get no Social Security back though.
okay?
You
So
pay
that's
into it, but you don't actually benefit from it.
so. But I'm saying the Social Security number itself is our concept.
Yes, it is. It's just for them to go to work.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying like, do Europe have Social Security numbers? Do Africa have Social Security numbers? Like, or is that
I don't
just
know.
a concept? I never researched it, of course. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Because I would wonder if they had one already, would it change? Right? So I just don't know how that works. But
So it's not a Social Security number in a lot of places. It's just you have something to recognize that you've been working in the country. They more call
yeah,
it.
that part, yeah. I'm just saying in general. But what? Because this is what I'm thinking, Shake. What if I'm from wherever, somewhere else? I'm not from here. I'm from somewhere else. I come over here. I get a chick pregnant, and I go back home. Can she file child support on me? Right? Like I don't have no paperwork here. You see what I'm saying?
There's
What
no
was she-
Interpol for
Oh,
child support, bro.
They are showing that he's a citizen, y'all, of the U.S. In 2002, he became a U.S. citizen.
I
Elon.
mean, hey, that could be the Mandela effect.
He also essentially he took advantage of the EB-5 and originally for him, right? So he bought eBay for I believe 1.5 billion, and so that's how he got his citizenship here because he paid his way into it. So hey,
Listen, man, I can't really be.
and so like for me, when I'm looking at who Elon is and how he got in here, and you open it up for the 5 mil, the thing is that the most people that's going to be paying that 5 mil, they are going to be in Elon's upper echelon type of number. They're not going to be, I just got 10 mil.
This,
They're
but
gonna be like, I
this
got
might not
100
affect a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of people. But for those that it does affect, they're not gonna like it. If I've been with a company for X amount of years, I'm trying to work my way up, get into these upper management positions, and then you pay 5 mil to bring some motherfucker in from somewhere else and just drop them in this position ahead of me that I've been working for. But you know how pissed off that person is gonna be, man. That like, I see. It took for me to be around somebody to have that happen to, right?
But
For me
that's
to
business.
understand how that would affect somebody. For you to be like, damn, they hiring externally when I'm right here and I to put all this work in. That's crazy, bro.
It is kind of crazy. I just thought it was an interesting thing that he is trying to push out there. I also think that's interesting for all the tethers out there. Hey, Trump ain't for y'all at all. Everybody that have voted against your own interests, hey, you effed around and found out.
Damn.
You effed around and found out. We tried to told you.
I did want to comment on this earlier though, when they was talking about those agricultural positions and things like that, and saying that the people here won't do those jobs. I don't necessarily know if that's true, man. Like I lived in a part of Iowa where it was like a farm town. So the whole summer it just smelled like doo-doo. Right? Because they used shit to fertilize. And as much as I hated the smell of doo-doo, there is a certain amount of money that they probably could have offered me, you know what I'm saying, to get me to work with them. Even if it was just in the cornfield, maybe. Right? It's like, but they won't. But can we hold that against the people? Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the idea that the people don't want the jobs. I just don't think it pays enough. They not in urban areas with a lot of,
Things.
Roof Chris and all this other stuff, right? Right, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not exciting and stuff like that. That city life is very addictive for some people.
It is. It's a legit mind prison. Like for some reason, when you get into it, you're like, hey, I'm going to stay here. I'm gonna have fun instead of going to a place where it's kind of affordable and you can actually your money could go somewhere. It's just what it is. The fact that they think that we as American citizens are supposed to accept less because somebody from a third world country is doing whatever they doing with cranberries for $5, and you gonna say, why you Americans won't do it? Because I ain't taking no $5. You pay me $30 an hour, I'll be in that goddamn cranberry field. It's as simple as that. Don't try to make me feel bad for trying to get a proper wage. Like, that's why I never understood why people was like, oh, the McDonald's workers want $20 an hour. What is that gonna do? So you say he's worth his money? Yes, nigga. Give me my money. That McDonald's on Manhattan on 42nd Street make $1 million a day. Right. And those people was making $10 an hour. I don't care what you're telling me.
Right, absolutely. But this is the thing though, Shake. Like, think about that. This one thing I will say I think about though. So if you McDonald's, yes. But Aaron O was the one who made me realize that we would have to consider the small business owner. And so the only thing I came up with is either we just don't have no small businesses because people deserve to make a livable wage, or then you make the income based on the size of the company, right? And the profit and the gross of the company. I mean, we tax based on people's gross. So why can't we make the wages based on the gross of the company?
I agree with that, but I think also the misconception of the small business not going to be able to afford it. Majority of people that's making good money is from a small business. So the small business is able to pay people better because it's a small niche. They don't have a bunch of people to pay. So you want 100,000. So you gonna have to bring in this amount of money for me to afford to pay you 100,000. Most companies, especially in the construction world, that's how it works. I want to make 150. He said, it's a path to $150, but you're gonna have to be able to figure out a way to bring in this kind of money, and I don't have no problem paying you $150. So small business, you can negotiate much easier. But if you go to eBay, hey, look, this is what an engineer pays. That's it. Ain't no negotiation.
I heard something the other day that blew my mind and made me realize that I wasted my life.
Oh shit!
My cousin is running this site, right? He's a iron worker.
Okay.
Yeah,
good money. It's a dangerous job, but they make good money.
Absolutely. So he's telling me about this kid that works for him, and his job, literally, is to watch people pour concrete. I think he said they call him a mucker.
Yep.
The dude makes $120 an hour.
Right.
Literally to watch people pour.
Well, that's probably his package though, not his take home. Usually
he said he has to pay him double time.
Oh, so then yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, bruh, where was that at in school? Why nobody in school was saying, hey, if you become a mucker, you can stand around and watch people pour concrete and make $120 an hour?
Well, the real reason is because that's usually at a certain level, right? So when you first get in, you ain't gonna be making that $120 because they usually go. And I think that's the real issue, that we want to fast track to the 120, and also that 120 that he's given, that's not something that is normal, right? Because that's why he got to pay him double for whatever that situation. Maybe it's a per diem, or maybe it's like some kind of government contract. It's probably a government contract why he got to pay him that much. That's usually where you get that money. But the problem is, like, if I go tell a young man, say, hey, listen, Rev is a horrible HVAC worker, but he still has a trade, and Red is going to be making 20 an hour, but you're going to have to make 10 and be up under his silly ass and learn HVAC so you can get up to his 20. And most people don't want to do that building process up to the 20 is the issue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Red.
Thank you. I just want to apologize for my people and all the horrific systemic racism. Anyway,
I get you with that. I'm kidding. All right, I have
These people don't have no life, like just no life.
Oh, shut up, Shaniqua. I'm trying to talk to the intellectuals here. All right, here. Fall back for a second. I'll get you in a bit. Listen,
do anything
first of all,
for just
economic
a modicum of attention.
What I was going to say was that
get.
what Beans and Shannon are saying is something to ponder, but for my autistic head, about 15 minutes ago was thinking, well, imagine this more so, right? So the inverse correlation, like, okay, So the longer time goes on, chronology goes on, it's like, well, we're smarter, we're more comfortable, air conditioning everywhere, digital technology, right? You would think this would extend to wages and workers, right? Am I right or wrong? Would you not think it would extend to that exponentially?
I would.
Right. And we probably do more work now, quite frankly, even just like someone in retail working overtime. I don't want to say World War II, World War One, but probably any time outside of that. Anyway, long story short, think of this. Think of like, and I won't go to, but Germany wasn't very popular in World War II, right? But they did some amazing things with the economy, like the Krupp steel. All right, it was just like a middle of the road railroad thing, getting taxed 1.5 billion Reichsmarks a year. How does this relate? Get to the point, I shall. So you're getting taxed 1.5 billion Reichsmarks a year. It's like, why the F am I even in business, right? And then you move to a massive war machine. Real quick, the third, economy was a very insular economy originally. That was one of the 21 tenets of ism. I don't agree with all those tenets, by the way, most of them. But it's a very insular economy. The problem with that is you can't grow when your enemies are trading with the whole world and exponentially growing, and you're just like some inbred nothing, right? So they hard to start annexing Poland and France, and we're having an economic conversation. That's what I'm
Slap
talking
the
about.
taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see you try it.
Damn. And I hit him. Shut the cracker is what they said. So, Red, you have to pay $20 to come back. Somebody pay $20 to drop you down, sir. So you have to use your HVAC money or your wine money to come back, or you can wait 15. It's a 15-minute wait for you, sir. Yes, that's how it works. So it's brand new to you. I understand. He said, what? He back there like, what do I do? So I can't hear you at the moment. I could just see you talking. So yeah. I guess. Y'all be crazy even on the afternoon. But yeah, so I think this whole Trump gold card thing. So you either hit the super chat or the cash app, either one. It's all good. Red, whichever you like to do. And do I have a super chat to read as well? Oh yeah, we have one.
All right, Justin D. Reveler Red, look up Juan Garrido and Esteban.
I think so.
That's what it is.
Estebanico.
Yeah, Estabanico.
But yeah, I don't know. But I think it's just interesting to see. I think the small businesses, though, it's not going to be really affected by something like minimum wage, to be honest, to go up to $20. It shows that it doesn't. Most small businesses, they pay above minimum wage anyway. That's something they're going to get people to into their jobs in the first place. What happened, Diva? What you laughing at? No, Diva, the microphone might be messed up. You there, Diva?
You hear me?
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. What you say?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know. You shouldn't have been able to hear me laughing, but I was laughing at Jerome. That's the first sensible thing you've ever said, Jerome.
Jerome is crazy. I'm surprised. Go ahead, Bob.
Nets and flies is the smartest motherfuckers on earth. Like nets and flies, like they be flying around, and then as soon as you get into I'm about to clap your ass position, they stop moving. It's like they be like, nigga, I know you about to try to kill me, so I'm gonna go over here and chill real quick until you put your hands down. But no, I mean, the crazy thing about it is I was almost following his line of thought.
Right.
Almost. I was like, it's so scattered and choppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody who didn't finish their own sentences as much as he was not finishing his own sentences. It was like interjecting on himself so much. That was crazy, but I was trying to follow it. I think I was following. It was a challenge. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, bro, this is why I be saying it, we're not going to do nothing about whatever it is that's done. right? We're gonna do what we always do is find a way to survive, right? The conversation in itself is just to kind of like parse out what we think, you know, and the ought to be's and stuff like that. And to your point, when you until you mentioned the companies paying for somebody to come over here, I was really just looking at it from the perspective of, okay, they got this bread, they can buy this card, and then they can come over here with those kind of resources and immediately start buying up things.
Yes, immediately.
Right. So, and they can do it from here, right? Which is a little bit different than sending their money over here and allowing somebody else to do it. But I don't think that's necessary. I think the thing that you mentioned probably makes more sense because we know that other people, the wealthy people, and for that matter, other countries invest in our markets and our and U.S. deals and projects. So would they necessarily have to pay $5 million just to come over here and do what? Oversight, right? So that's why I think the thing that you mentioned about them being the businesses themselves, and it's a video I just watched the other day that talked about the richest companies in the world. And the first one was like in the billions, and it still felt like it was never ending. The video is almost 5 minutes long, and it's just going company after company. I promise you, I didn't recognize more than half of the companies.
Right.
And they saying this company, the paramedic some shit is worth 1.7 trillion. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
And what do y'all do?
Right. And they worth 1.7 trillion. So to your point, if all of these companies can really be invested in bringing specific people, yo, this is going to be problematic, bro. This is going to be a problem.
I think it's going to be more of a problem than anything as well, especially because he's promoting it the way how he's promoting it. That's why it's a little concerning to me, but we just have to wait and see. At the end of the day, but I think it's very concerning. I did find it interesting that people like Ida Man, that is an avid Trump supporter, said this is very concerning for him too. I was very surprised.
Yeah, Ida Man, I don't know. I'm starting to give myself credit for it from our debate because it seemed like ever since our debate, he done stepped his debate game up. Like, we could make fun of him not pronouncing words properly a lot, but
I'm definitely in that boat too because I can't pronounce words for shit. Podcast,
but he's been in his bag lately. Like, I pull up the situations and podcasts and stuff where he at expecting the same old E, and it has not been that. He's been in his bag lately. His arguments have been great. He's proven that he can think. It's a big thing. Please don't disappoint me, E.
So I just ended the poll. So the poll said it is 73% wealthy individuals. So they kind of agree with us that it ain't going to help the economy. It's not going to create jobs. What it's going to actually do is just help wealthier individuals. That's all it is. It's just literally a money grab for the American so-called debt that he said they're going to put the money towards.
If that, yeah, because they're not investing in any project. So how would it benefit the American people?
Okay, since we talking about Trump, what do y'all think about all the federal employees being fired?
The federal employees being fired, a lot of those workers resigning.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
that was crazy to me. Like with the letter that they wrote, like saying we're not going to use our skills to basically harm the American public, right? So.
Man, that was kind of scary. Like, what are you really doing back there? Because we don't really know it. Like, why did so many workers say they don't want to ruin the Constitution? They made that was specific. That's I don't know what's that
because
about.
Judges told them they couldn't do things. Didn't a judge just tell him he better do something he did? He got to undo it by tonight, by midnight. Or was that last night? And
I don't know
He's
how
saying
y'all ladies be saying it. Ciao.
There you go.
What's your thoughts on that part? All the people quitting and the people getting fired.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've been seeing the headlines, but I just ain't
You
been
didn't look into it.
I just don't care. But I think if anything, I think they're getting rid of the wrong government workers, in my opinion. And I know how this is going to be taken, but so I'm just going to say it. They need to get rid of all the black women that work in like the DMVs and the welfare office and all of those, and replace them with men. I don't care what color of me. I just think they need to put men in those positions, honestly, because those women do not like their jobs. I mean, they always mad, they upset. It's always slow. It's never fucking right. You know what I'm saying? And those are the positions I think they need to be more concerned about, because the shit be backed up. It's always something. We backed up. The log is this, the log is that. They have an attitude anytime you reach out to them about getting their jobs done. And I'm not saying they doing that because they black. I'm saying the black women in those positions in particular tend to act this way, right? But the fact of the matter is that I don't understand why those government positions, schools, what's the other one? It was another one. Oh, HR departments. It's mostly women. Why? Like, why can't men have those positions? Why are those positions mostly women? And I'm not,
Because women go into it.
Yeah, because women go into it, men don't. Because men wasn't into typing and things like that, so they didn't want those jobs. But we, as black women, we gotta go and get the jobs, ladies, and then we gotta give them to our black men. That's what they've been telling us for a few years now. Like, y'all can't go and get them yourself without, like, if you can do the job and you want the job, then go get the job.
no, but so here's the thing about it: that if the people, I would have to acknowledge your point when you say that maybe men aren't applying for the jobs, right? In particular, I would have to acknowledge that, right? But I'm saying, I'm not even saying the women are the reason why the jobs are mostly women. I think men are the reason why the jobs are mostly women. But that's why I'm asking why, right? Like, why did they choose to make these jobs? To your point, the typing thing, that's a great point. That's a great point, right? I can't remember which comedian said, I spent all my typing years making fun of people who know how to type, and now I can't type for shit, right? So that's actually a great point. But so much has been computerized at this point. I mean, men spend just as much time on computers, right? Maybe not so much on their phone or on social apps, but I'm pretty sure men spend just as much time on their computers as everybody else does, right? And everything has been shortened and sweetened, so it's not like it used to be. We don't have typewriters, we have computers, we have printers, we have emails. I think maybe it's time we reconsider that, right? Maybe we need to change some of those positions up. Some of these more laborious positions, those women in those roles should take those positions. Go be in the warehouse, go be on the forklift and do that, and let some of the men get some of these HR positions and some of these government job positions in these particular offices, and let's see if it don't change and we see a shift in the efficiency of those offices.
I'm so glad black men don't make no decisions. Chaotic Romello, Sam 47, Bankai, Diva, explain the Doge quitting. I'm behind. Chaotic Romello. So I saw a news clip about it. I didn't read the open letter that they made, but I think it was 21 Doge staffers quit simultaneously, and they drafted an open letter. And part of that letter said that they did not want to use their skills to harm the American public. Sharon mentioned that they specifically said something about violating the Constitution. Pretty sure they, have a list of other grievances or whatever. But yeah, it was 21 of them. Now, I'm not even sure how large that pseudo office is. So I don't know if they had 2,100, employees and 21 quitting, but still.
So, Diva, can we have a dialogue real quick?
No, sir. I think Bomb Cherry was about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say, since she said I was gonna say something. Yeah, 21 of them quit, and they resigned, and they are saying, yeah, they didn't want to dismantle, the federal government and other people's jobs. Oh, you brought me some food, baby. Thank you. Your mommy love you. Okay. Oops, I wasn't muted. So that's my son. He brought me some food.
All right, son.
I know, without even asking me.
I don't know what the hell's going on with Red, but he out there wilding in the back chat. What you doing, Red?
Tripping out.
Why you mad at me, Red? You still got a little more time.
So Shake, let me ask you a question. If you had a worker who seemed disgruntled with their position, wouldn't you want to replace them?
Ooh, so ask it one more time. I got it.
If you had a worker who seemed disgruntled with their position, wouldn't you want to replace them?
I don't know if it would be seen, but if I were to see them disgruntled and I had a conversation and I could prove that they are, then absolutely I will replace them.
And what
sometimes that could be a misunderstanding.
So to have it in good faith, right? Let's just say that it is. Now let's say that particular worker now becomes a class, a specific demographic or class of workers, right? In certain positions. Don't you think you would have to consider replacing that class of workers in order for things to run more smoothly or efficiently?
I don't think I understand the question.
If you had a basketball team with 5 white guys, right? And they just simply couldn't compete with 5 black guys. Wouldn't you consider putting black guys on your team?
For me personally, the way how my mind thinks, I understand how you frame that. I guess if I had that frame of thinking and I correlate their bad playing to their race, then yes, I would look at it that way. But I do not correlate people not able to complete a task to their race. So for me, I would just be looking for the best candidate. They happen to be white, black, or indifferent, whatever, or green. I would just pick that person.
Yeah, but
I do get that point.
I think we do a disservice when we do that, though, right? Because there's a reason why the fastest people in the world.
Yo, Red down there wilding out, man.
But there's a reason why the fastest people in the world tend to be black, right? It's always somebody black that's labeled as the fastest person in the world. It's not somebody white.
However, right? They also train a lot. They also from hockey, for example. The reason why hockey players are majority white is because of the areas that they grew up in. And so I just think that it's just the areas that we grow up in. That's what makes us fast. We tend to be in sports that tend to use the least amount of equipment, and running is one of those things.
Don't do this to me. Are you saying right now that you don't think that the reason that black people tend to be faster than white people is because they're black?
No, I don't think it's because they're black. No,
that is crazy.
They got white people running just fast.
You was doing so well all day. Yeah, damn, man. 2 hours, man. You was doing so well, bro.
Oh, Lord. One second. That's just what I believe. Hold on.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
All right. Tara Toy with the 50 ball. Give white men with long hair another break to get coffee and no more wine. Damn.
So, Red, they put some more money on your head for you to stay in the back. Even though you put markers that he drew on his face. For you to come back up now. For you to come back. It's not me, Red. Don't get mad at me. It's $50 to come back, Red. So you got to either send a cash app or super chat. You gonna draw some more stuff? Okay. Now he's drawing on his arm. Okay, I got you, Red. Go ahead. He got some interesting art going on.
Yeah, that is.
He's showing me all, and he's showing me all his weapons too. He's like,
That's
look.
funny.
He's like, look, Pa. He's like, Sharon, hey, don't play with me. I was like, all right, Red, that damn. I ain't trying to do that to you, Red. He said, you know, I'm kind of crazy.
Not the threats from the back chat.
and now he is painting on his arm as right now. So he painted on his forehead, first of all.
Damn.
Well, you know, so one thing, you know, that kind of got me to thinking is much in the same way that Black women are lacking in customer service skills on these jobs, or at least that's the assertion. Black men are often inappropriate and fresh on these jobs, right? So just today, you know, today I had to go into an office. And as I was leaving for the day, I'm walking to the elevator. There are two Black males standing by the elevators. And so in order to get my attention, he starts going click, clack, or whatever. I ignored him. And so I pushed the, you know, elevator button or whatever. And when it came, as I was getting on, he was walking by, him and the guy, and he said something, you know, a little more fresh. Now, I'm thinking I probably should go to HR and let them know he made me feel unsafe and uncomfortable at work. This is my first day ever stepping foot there. I'm going there to try to evaluate some shit for them, and I got to deal with some inappropriate Black men on his job. So I think it's a good idea, right? If you're able to be in a position to where you can actually make that happen, go ahead and make it happen.
They ain't gonna like that, huh? Because
right, because some of us actually in the position to make the shit happen.
Right. It's amazing though, because Black women are the only ones who work at the welfare office. But let's say you go to the welfare office, you're gonna only have a worker, right? So you're not seeing all the Black women to know that they have a bad attitude. You only gonna see your worker bees, the one who when you went in front of her to get the food stamps and that welfare. You know, you didn't see all the women, right? All the women who may have worked at the welfare office in your area. Were they all Black? And were you in front of all of them? Because one of them could have been like me. Well, I'm a nice, you know, and I'm gonna just ask you to give me your information that I need, and if you have it, you have it, and if you don't, I'm gonna let you know you need it. You can't be mad at me because I require what the government requires.
See, the difference between me and y'all is that I actually just like having genuine conversations, right? So when PH Diva just said that Black men tend to be fresh on jobs, I didn't disagree with it. Because I'm not every Black man. But I know enough Black men to know that Black men behave that way. And if I had to put good money on it, like if it was, hey, yo, $1 million, fam, yes or no, the majority, minority, I'm going with the majority because I want to win. So it's not going to offend me, even if the majority of men act inappropriately, if I don't, right? So gaslight me all you want to, but you can't gaslight the entire country. You can't gaslight at this point, millions of people who have these same stories of their encounters with these particular women in these particular positions, which is why I said that. I specifically stated that I don't think it's because they're Black. I think it's because they're Black in these particular positions, because I don't actually think those women want to be there. I don't think they actually want to work there or be doing that kind of work. It's customer service work dealing with people. And I don't think our women really want to do that kind of work.
Well, I love doing that type of work. Yeah, I like dealing with other people, and there's lots of other Black people, women who do. Right. So you're making a statement.
Always the response.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, if it's
Whenever
true,
we say anything, in general, it's always, well, I'm not that way, so therefore your statement can't be true. So if I say, well, I'm not fresh on the job, then PhD's statement can't be true about black men being fresh on the job. But see, I would never be that disingenuous. It does something to me to be that disingenuous. I don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Yeah, no, you was disingenuous when you assume that those women don't like their jobs when you don't know them.
You don't want them to be in there cussing their asses out. Damn,
I know they don't like their job.
And all they say is yes, ma'am, and go do what the fuck she told them to do. Cut it out.
And that's the crazy thing about it, right? Is that now this is what we always have to do in conversation. This is why this shit is dumb. Is that we have to try to demean the other person's intellect in order to make our points. So now, if I say, well, Bomb Cherry, there's no way you could absolutely know that a person doesn't like their job.
Yes, that would be true. Yeah, that would be true if you said
You're
that.
only saying that because a statement was made about black women.
No, listen.
Wait, I just want to make sure you say. I want to make sure everybody hears you say this out loud. You're saying Bomb Cherry, with the experience that you have, does not have the intellectual capacity to determine whether or not a person actually likes their job.
Yes, I am not them, and I can't determine, especially if I've never met them, sat in front of them, or anything. I can't determine whether they like the job or not. Yes,
right. But see, you just said if I never met them or sat in front of them,
and that's what I told you when I mentioned you. I said if you went to the welfare office, I said, did you sit before all of them? That is exactly what I said. Why does it have
to be all of them?
Yeah, because one may not like a job, and
so it's only me.
Job.
So I'm the only person who is stating that they've had these kind of experiences with black women in customer service positions.
Yes.
We can say that we've had those type of experiences with any group of people in customer service, right? Exactly. So we can pull up several videos of black people, usually black men, going into a Starbucks and having that white girl behind the counter call the fucking cops on them. So you got to cut it out.
So is it true? So is it true then about white women?
You could say it's true about everybody. So everybody get in customer service jobs and act a fool, because after a period of time, it wears on you dealing with the public, right?
So you're saying that they don't want to be in those
type of jobs. Have you ever worked one of these type of jobs?
Absolutely. But here's my question to you. So when you say after a certain amount of time it wears on you, that means you don't actually want to be in that position.
No, right? That's not what it means at all. That means that you may not have the resources that you need. A lot of those social service jobs, those with people period, are frustrated because they don't have the resources that they need to actually do their jobs effectively. So it could be any number of reasons of why they're disgruntled or rude on the job. And so just to try to jump in people's head and say, oh, you just don't want to be here, go home, is whatever. But again, everybody show their ass in customer service jobs. And so trying to, make it specific to one group of people, that's kind of crazy.
But you do that as well. You just do it for black men. No, I'm saying the same thing that you just said about trying to put something in a stigmatic kind of way against one particular group. You do it all the time. You just do it to black men.
Okay, and with what? Because
you don't have okay, so I'm not gonna argue. One chance, violence.
And we got statistics that show that black males are more prone to violence, right?
Okay,
and
then.
So you can show me some.
Yeah, if you could see behind the scenes right now, you would change your mind.
But
that man ain't doing nothing to you.
Saying that black women are, the most disgruntled in customer service jobs. We don't have that data.
Wait, so you're okay with using self-reporting as it pertains to violence, but you're not okay with using self-reporting as it pertains to disgruntled employees in customer service positions?
I didn't say that. I said we don't have the data. So where is there a large survey
the data on violence is self-reported, PhD.
No. But okay, I don't have an issue with self-report. What I am saying is, where do we have a large-scale survey of customer service workers where the results are broken down into race, and those results indicate that black women are more disgruntled on their jobs than other groups of people?
Right. So it's 2025. Be honest. You know I could do some Googling right now and find it. But then we're
Go
going
ahead. Go see if McKinney has done it. Because
but
they do a
that's
lot of
my
that type
point.
of
That's what I
stuff.
was going to say.
No. But
Then
I'm
it's
saying I
gonna
haven't
turn
seen it from
into
them. So
who
go
did
find
the
it and then
reporting,
bring it back and
right?
we'll talk about it.
And that's my point. That's what it was going to turn into, which is why I don't like doing it. Right? It's going to turn into, well, I don't accept that website or this particular group as reputable.
No.
Right?
You don't have any. You don't have any. We can. I don't raise an issue with self-report. How the fuck you gonna know unless the person report it to you? There's no issue with self-report measures
because we've been alive for a very long time.
So what?
There
And
are
you lived in
decades of
two
this,
specific
right?
places. Where have you lived? Where have you visited to be able to say all of this? Come on.
Do I have to visit a place to understand what's happening there?
Oh, okay. So how are you understanding if you haven't been there? What are you seeing?
Wait a minute. So right now you're saying you can make a statement about black men being violent, which is everywhere, places you haven't been, but we can't make statements about places we haven't been.
Again, I'm using a data source, FBI crime statistics. Okay, so what's the data source? That's all I'm asking.
Self-reporting.
No. See, okay, no. Because see, what you're talking about is actual observation. You're saying self-reporting, and it actually means something different than what you're saying. Self-reporting is when we ask people, hey, what did you do? And the people tell us, right? That's self-reporting. You going and observing and then drawing a conclusion in your mind and coming back and telling us what your conclusion is, that is not self-reporting. That's stupidity.
So self-report, provide details about one's circumstances, right?
Yes, but self-report is when you are being studied. Nobody's studying you. You're trying to come and tell us a conclusion you've drawn. That's something different than when we're talking about people self-reporting their experiences. We're doing a survey of those people and asking them, hey, what is your experience with this, that, the third? You just coming and saying, hey, I have lived in 2 places and not visited very many other ones. But from my observation, Black women are disgruntled in their customer service jobs. What? That you see how ridiculous this sounds?
No, what's ridiculous is that you're creating a straw man, and I don't know
why. It's not a straw man. That's what you're saying.
It is, because anybody listening can hear me saying that I'm literally saying we're using the self-reporting of decades.
Okay, where is it coming from? Who's self-reporting? Who's self-reporting? The Black women are saying I'm disgruntled.
I'm trying to tell you. So what I'm saying is, if we have decades,
who is self-reporting?
The same thing.
Right? Who is self-reporting?
You got it.
Right.
I mean, that's your win, is that you make people talk because you want to overtalk them and instead of just having a conversation. And now your mic is
I'm looking for the book because it talks about the personality of Black people who let white folk shit.
I don't care about the color.
You do. And talk about how y'all reason so poorly, and everything got to be an example with y'all. Y'all can never just explain your point. Everything got to be a story or an example, talk. And that's indicative of an inability to express your thoughts clearly. So focus on that. I'm just
do it to everybody else. We make other people stop and let people talk, but for some reason you have carte blanche to just overtalk people and not let them get a point out and then argue that they aren't making one.
Okay. You done? We just
no, he's not, he still has some more to say. Let them.
So what I'm saying is this: the same way how I accept when all of the reporting from all of the women across the country in places I've never been who talk about the violence that they experience is the same way how I accept all of the reporting from all the people who say they have encountered disgruntled Black women in customer service positions. I just accept it. What it is.
And a lot of people have said that they've encountered disgruntled white bitches in customer service positions, or rude ass white boys, or anybody, right?
Right. So, and here's the thing: now that people are saying it, guess what we did? We put a name on it. Becky. right? And so that's what I'm saying. Now, if somebody
And so,
is
what's the
saying
name
have
of the
that
black woman
experience,
disgruntled? Okay, so what name did we put
right?
on
But
black
we're
women
not
in
talking
customer
about
service being disgruntled? Nope. Now I
like
want to
that's
know
the
what name
point
did we
though.
put on it? What
But
name
that's
did
the
we put
point
on
though.
it?
Is
All right. So
What name did we put on it?
let me try to make it a little easier so the audience can also understand. So podcast, your decades is people having a conversation is your decades of information. It's not an actual statistical chats data
right.
sheet.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this way we can have that understanding. So this way, whether you agree with it or you accept it or not, that's a whole different story. But his data is from his years of having conversation with multiple different people on the internet, in person, and the few encounters that he had at restaurants. That's what he said.
But what we're saying, but what I'm saying is more specifically, Shay, what I'm saying specifically is that I just accept the reporting, right? It is what it is. I've experienced it, as too many people have said it, therefore there must be some truth to it, right? But what I am saying is
Right, and
we're
we said the same
specifically
thing about
talking
everybody
about
else.
Shay, come on, man. We're specifically talking about I literally said not because they're black, but because they're black in this position. That's what I'm talking about in those specific positions, right?
But you
So
have no way
what
of
we're
knowing
talking
that.
about is where is the narrative of the women in those positions, right? We hear the narrative of white women thinking they run shit, thinking they can tell people what to do all the time, thinking they can talk to people how they want to all the time. We have generalized that 51% or more to white women, and it is just accepted. Even if they don't like it, oh well. It's too many people saying that they've experienced it. It's too much video evidence of it. And so now it's just it's a narrative that is accepted. So why is it that just because we're talking about black women, we're not supposed to have the same genuine good faith conversation?
We are.
But we're not, because you want
We
to
are. When you tell me what name we put on disgruntled rude black women in customer service positions, what do we call them?
Angry, bitter.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Right.
we didn't
So
come up
what he
with a
says,
name
like,
like
so how the white woman got,
Karen.
so the white woman got Karen. What's the
Right.
what's the
Karen,
black-
Karen. That's why I said Becky.
You
Right.
said Becky, right?
Yeah,
I was
Karen.
trying to just let y'all mind it out. But all right,
Yeah.
so white woman is the Karen that you are saying that is the horrible customer service. So now, what is the black woman version of that? What's the black
angry black woman?
And
That
that's
would
the
be it.
issue.
Angry black woman. Yeah. Wait, what's the
That's
issue?
not specific. All right.
Oh, wait, Shake, what's the issue though?
Is that it is a
Angry black woman, from my understanding, was black women responding to the bullshit that people try to put them through, and because black women won't roll over and take it, then they call them angry. So
Right.
it's a righteous anger. It's a righteous anger.
Yes,
Okay, and so
absolutely.
that's
That
not
makes,
the same
it
thing as
makes
being
sense
a
that
Karen.
that's what it is from your perspective as a black woman.
That's not what it is to
That's
be
not
a
why
Karen.
other people
That's
are
not
calling
what
them
it
angry
is to
black
be
women.
a Karen, right? So the Karen, she initiates.
Shit.
You could be minding your business. The bitch gonna initiate with you.
Right.
With even
Absolutely.
your rude, disgruntled black woman, she's
Are
not
at
initiating.
work.
You coming to fuck with her.
At work.
Right? Big
Exactly.
difference. So there's a difference, right? In the level of aggression, right? Because if I am initiating, that's a different level of aggression than if you coming to me and I say, not today, nigga.
This shit is so again, the difference is, like you said, that white woman, the Karen, could be anywhere. And you could be minding your business and she's coming and initiating to you. That shit is toxic as fuck. That's why they get called Karens. Karens ain't a good name,
Right. And
But
that's
the-
why there's no corresponding name for black women. And that is why there's no corresponding name for black women.
So
I
the
rest my
black
case,
woman
Your
is
Honor.
specifically about
If
we're
it
talking
don't
about
fit,
is on the
you
job.
must quit.
So the rhetoric that she just used is you're coming to fuck with me when we're talking about you're at your job.
Yeah, you still okay, and there's
So
never
we're
been
not
rude
talking about we coming
customers.
to fuck
There
with
have
you.
never been rude customers. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, you can come and fuck with me at my job. Yes, you can.
Absolutely. So,
Okay,
so
and
your
so what the
argument is
fuck are you
that
talking about?
so your argument is that that's the majority of the time. Unfortunately, the
A
people
lot of times it is.
a lot of times or majority.
Majority.
Okay, so then that's where we differ. What's the big deal?
The big deal is your ass ain't really never worked in no position like that, so you wouldn't know.
How do you know that?
Oh, you've been a social worker, or you worked in?
We said customer service. Now it's social worker.
Well, you said the women at the welfare office. They're typically
Yes.
social
Is
workers.
that not customer service work?
But they're typically social workers, baby.
That's not the point.
Yes, it is. Nigga, their
Oh
job
my
title is
God.
social worker or caseworker.
I saw. Okay, hold on, son. Because
Doesn't matter what the title of the position is.
hold on. We don't need to.
No
We
matter
don't
what
need
the
to.
title of the position is, the
we don't
work in
need
itself
to
is
deal-
customer service, which is
No,
what
it's
we have
not.
been
It's
saying
social work.
the
And
whole
social work
time.
involves dealing with people.
Really? So working at the DMV is social
Right.
work?
Just like if you're a psychologist or a therapist, you got to deal with people
Right. So
in
working
an
at the
effective way,
DMV
but
is
your
social
job is
work?
not customer service.
Right.
Right.
So working at the DMV is social work?
No, that's not.
We
But I'm
said
talking
that
about
too.
the women at
Okay.
the place.
All right.
We said that too. So why are you only sticking to the ones?
Okay.
The DMV.
Okay.
is
So hold on.
a
Let me
state
try. Let me try
That's
to.
why I thought that was stupid to talk about anyway in a federal context, because the DMV is a state agency. So that's why I didn't address that.
Is it a government position though?
Nigga, we was talking about the federal government.
I understand that.
All right, so let me try to
It's
y'all tick for tatting right now. All right, so here's the thing. So
Weirdo.
the problem is that so if we do the DMV type of job situation, people is coming there, correct? So the problem is that everybody at that building has a attitude problem. It ain't just the black woman, is what I believe Diva is trying to attempt to say, and it seems like that's what you disagree with. Am I wrong or am I off on that?
Just addressing the DMV. So why would you say that shit?
Right, because we keep moving. So if we
addressing the social workers,
so the problem is when y'all disagreeing with, if we could just land it on a profession, and this way y'all can't deviate to.
It don't matter to me.
Move it
Black
that
women
way.
support everything. Black women take everything to HR. Black women, every little thing. I'm about to write my statement right now because I'm gonna take it up. And all of y'all is my
Just
outcry.
don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake and put beans. Make sure you put the person's name.
All of y'all my outcry witnesses. I'm going to HR first thing in the morning with my letter.
You know what? We at the 3 hour mark. I can't take y'all. Y'all get on my damn nerves. We got such a dysfunctional family. You want to say some last words? Go ahead, podcast.
No, I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, the criteria was in these customer service positions, right? So that's I'm not even mad though.
Let them be the last words, y'all. Let them be
The few times that I actually have had to deal with customers, I knew I didn't like it, right? Even though over the phone, I think I would probably be good at it because you're not in my face, right? And you're not being hostile or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, to her point, I know that actually happens. It's just that if I walk into the DMV and your whole attitude is already there, I ain't said shit to you, right?
Yeah, but she might not like the way you look.
So we all know as grown adults that nobody should have to suffer the consequences of your life. Whatever happened to you, you shouldn't take that out on me, and I ain't have nothing to do with it, right? So that's my thing. I'm not even mad at, like I said, I'm not even mad at them for not wanting to be in those positions. That's what I'm saying. Swap them out. Like my daughter is a forklift driver. You can't pay her to go get in nobody's customer service positions. She like that shit. She like being on that lift. She like being by herself. She put her earbuds on and she ran around loading and unloading trucks and can, she's barely bothered, right? So I'm not even saying I don't understand it from the point that Diva is making, which is that motherfucking customers can be rude as hell. I know when shit ain't going right, I get on the phone and I be upset. When they just had my license hijacked for 2 months after I paid $1,200 to get it back. And I'm like, bro, I still ain't got my license. What's going on? And I went in there with a whole attitude. But the white lady who was there saw that I was frustrated and she went out of her way to make sure I had what I had and to get what I wanted. Right? The black lady went off on me on the phone and hung up on me. Right?
And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna channel that black woman and I'm gonna hang up on y'all. Everybody go to his Bean stream. He's still live. Maybe he'll still talk for a few
I'm
more
going
minutes.
live too, y'all.
Bob Cherry's going live as well. So hey, pick your poison.
Not
I will
poison.
see y'all.